Alrighty, guys, how's it going? Okay, so I know the monitor, the stream setup is gonna be really weird, but it's probably gonna change over the next couple days. So we'll see. We'll see. Stuff's in flux a little bit, but I had to like raise all my monitors and everything like that because my neck was killing me, and I was like hunching forward into the stuff. So we're trying this out. Franchetti, thank you for the prime. How you doing, Obi? Yeah, they made it so that you can actually move during uppies, man. This is the latest patch. Actually makes it pretty good. Oh yeah, and a lot of good add plus changes. Let's fucking go. I don't know if there's any changes yet. I'm gonna check Wowhead. Let's see. Let's do threes. Let's not do threes. Let's not do threes. Asconor, thank you for the prime as well. As if someone said your name right. Wait, was Franchetti not right? Plus reward changes sound great for those of us in the lower end of things. Yeah, I'm hyped. Well, Obi, that's tough, man. Right there, boo. Last week's notes. I wanted to be like a snarky asshole to your DM and then be like, I move with W and A and sometimes D, but you know, it's tempting. It was very tempting. But yeah, in the description and stuff like that of that video, it goes over it. Ooh, adjustments to minecart events. So, what titles? PTR waiting room. Yeah. How you doing, Dreamfire? That you are, Snarky. That you are. Until Snarky 02 and 01 come around. At least until they come around. Let me see. Yeah, dude, M+ changes are huge. Lost the original when you change your name? Ah, tragic. Let's see. Cinnabrew got more time. Free samples can be interrupted. Bestial Wrath can be interrupted. Bestial Wrath cast time's longer. Increased stability cooldowns on a buttload of mobs. Pyromaniac's a really big one. Jelly Purveyor's a really big one too. So those are good. Defeating Kyrios updates the graveyard location to the barracks. Yippee! Holy shit, thank you. Is there any... I guess you don't really need a graveyard update here. Yeah. Grounding Bolt doesn't leave area denial. Cursed Thunder has been removed or replaced. Void Crush no longer leaves area denial. Good, because that entire area going to the second boss is just filled with goo. Wait, there's a release date? What? Yo, Dude Rave, thank you for the 85 months. Good God, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you, dude. Where's this release date at? I see no release date. What are you talking about, man? If wowhead.com has not posted it, it doesn't exist. Pretty sure they didn't say anything? Yeah, I don't see anything. How you doing, Snare? Yeah, I don't see anything. There's no real consistency to when they tell us. Yo, Snarky, thank you for the 2 months, my dude. Welcome back, welcome back. That'd be nice, though. It'd be really nice. God, I got this, like, thing in my neck, and it's killing me lately. That's right, Wowhead is the truth. And a dungeon rewards being unable to give mythic track items is a problem? No, because otherwise you just spam them forever until you get the pieces you want, and then there's no more gear to get. They should make it so that the tokens you get from your vaults, you could, like, use a bunch of those tokens to upgrade an item from hero track to mythic track. But endless mythic track items, eh. It's for the PvP people a lot with like a 1 to 2 week notice. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, what was the other changes to dungeons? Dark Flame Cleft has even more time. Blazicon updates the graveyard to the Waxatory. Minecart event. Completing the minecart event now updates the graveyard location to the track yard. The minecart's movement speed significantly increased while out of combat. Ooh. Enemies in the minecart have their health reduced. Darkness's health reduced. Darkness's minimum health threshold during the minecart event adjusted from 80 to 90%, so you can burn him down even further. And the darkness encounter ends at 55% HP. These are good nerfs. These are really good nerfs. At the moment, I think this is looking stronger in M plus PTR. Yeah. How you doing, Arlen? All right, increased ability cooldowns for Overseer, Candle, Blaze Fiend, Soot Snout. I think Soot Snout was the guy that like picks people up and like throws them around and shit. Crazy stuff. Priory. Defeating the Baron updates the graveyard location. Nice. Baron's Hammer of Purity movement speed is reduced by 40%. His Castigator's detonation occurs after 5 seconds. Increased ability cooldowns on everything. Brawn Pike's a big one. Yeah, this guy pipes. He's going to deal so much damage. Man, this tick in my neck is killing me. Hopefully it gets better. Shredder and Floodgate Shredation cast time increased to 3 seconds. So they double the cast time. Nice. And the cooldowns increased. And ramping damage from consecutive saw blades hits reduced by 50%. Huh. That's big. I wish they would just remove this mob altogether. I think it's really stupid in general, but whatever. Discharge is now applied after a 2-second cast. Discharge inflicts damage every 5 seconds. Damage increased. Harpoon can be interrupted. God bless. This shit was a dot plus a pull. Sitting today? Yeah. Well, I was going to stand. I probably will in a sec. My neck has just been hurting. My neck's just been hurting, and I just was running all over the place because I got this, like, super tall pole, basically. Like, this is my current, or this is my old monitor stand, and I got something that was, like, twice this height, so I could actually raise my monitor enough. I basically wasn't able to raise my monitor enough, and I was like hunching my neck forward, and it was hurting my neck. Yeah. So, like, hopefully trying to like force the monitors higher so I actually don't hurt my neck anymore. And if this doesn't work, I'm getting an entire new monitor stand that I can just literally like pick up and move around. Hopefully it works, Arlen. I hate it, dude. Because like, I went to Liquid's event last year, right? And then they just had like basic monitor stands that you just slide up, right? And that was it. You just push it up and it's there. And my neck was fine the entire fucking time. And I come back and then just every single time I get one of these monitor arms, they're just so short that it just fucks with me. It just fucks with me. So, but I'm only 6'4", man. We're going to talk about the M Plus changes in just a sec, Thomas. How's it going, man? What up, Tusk? Happy reset day, man. Ergotron HX. That's the thing, is like, it's about $30 to get this super tall monitor pole, so I got that first. But the Ergotron monitor stands are like $200 each, which is fucking crazy for a monitor stand. So I probably have to spend like $300 or $400 or something like that to get the nice monitor stands for all 3 monitors. So, yes, but worth. I know, but like I said, I'm gonna try this solution first, and then we'll go from there. It's not this, Snake. I appreciate the concern, though. I'll do this every once in a while, but I'll be at the computer for hours and hours and hours. Yeah, just take out some vertebrae. I need some help with that. How you doing, Jen? I just got this like Vivo extra tall monitor stand thing. Yeah. Permanent knot now that you're in your 30s. Look like an idiot rolling your neck during meetings every 30 seconds. Honestly, that's why I'm making these adjustments though. Cause like I've worked out the knots in the past, but they just, you know, they come back and there's one variable and it's the height of the monitors, you know, cause now I have the desk. Now I have this, you know, the standing desk I can adjust and all this other stuff. So it's literally just, I gotta fix the monitor situation with put some finality to it, and then I'll be good to go. All right, but yeah, basically I'm hyped about these M Plus changes. Basically, they talk about like all of the issues. This is actually kind of insane. This is actually kind of insane because this took, I don't know, almost the entire community over the past like 2 months talking about this stuff. And now, you know, they like well, not insta, but pretty close to. They're like, holy shit, we got to do something about it. But do they talk about Rapture? Good question. I wonder if Reddit competitive, wow. I wonder if they still have a chart of the M Plus stuff. Not that. I want it compared to other seasons. Did they stop posting the chart? Did they take it out? Or your monitor stands from mount it. They have tons of adjustment to it. Okay. Might check that out as well. Ah, there we go. There we go. Orange is TW. This gets lost really easily. I wish it was interactive. Okay, so orange, we are around here, which is like DF Season 2. Man, DF Season 1 was still like quite a bit above. Quite a bit above. And then DF Season 4 was by far the lowest. Shocker. DF Season 1 was the highest until around the next patch, and then it tanked. Yeah. So. Yeah, so far I would say it looks really promising. Because them, like, realizing that delves are a major issue. Well, delves have an impact on the overall, like, system. They have an impact on everything else. We're saved? Yeah. But yeah, people like not needing champ gear. And then they realized that, like, basically one of the biggest issues they realized, yo, Myers, thank you for the prime, was TLDR. So basically people got a lot of gear from delves, and they kept doing delves until they got a bunch of gear. And then instead they got all the gear they could get from delves. And then instead of going into 2 to 6 to learn the dungeons, they jumped right into 7s. So that they could get more gear, because that was the next thing on the trip. People had no idea what they were doing. 7s turned into a frickin' mess. Led to inconsistency from group to group, made many players wary and more selective in filling their group for keys. Basically, bad players. Well, players who hadn't like learned the dungeons were going into higher content than they should have been. Yeah. Keys not depleting after you have everything timed at 1 key level lower. Was a big proponent against some random guy 3-chesting a 10 with a god group, just not being able to time that key, and random people just join and fail it over and over. Yeah. Inexperienced players. Inexperienced players. Freaking noobs. What up, Jug? Where's the Coke? No Coke here. Yeah, you'll still be able to manually drop your keys. I think my favorite change is that at 12s, there's no additional HP increase to enemy health. And it's basically just Challenger's Peril. So, like, 12s will basically just add timer for deaths and not increase more HP. Mechanic could feel overly punishing for groups still learning and progressing. A focus on clean execution remains appropriate for the upper echelons of the system. Removing the extra stats should make that transition into the prestige tiers feel like less of a wall. Yeah. No, I haven't had soda in a while, man. It's like really good changes here. But basically, it's like a smoother difficulty curve. M0s give you champ track with a weekly instance lockout. The health and damage to enemies has been increased to reflect the improved rewards, while keeping M0 accessible point of entry for players. So basically, 0's a little harder, but there's no timer, so who cares? 2 to 10, each new level will increase the health and damage of enemies by 7% instead of 10%. Per level scaling, remember 10% for 11s onwards. So 11s onwards still get to be pretty intense. And then bargain rotating affixes will move up from 2 to 4. So there's no affixes on Mythic 0, 2, or 3. It's only at a 4 that you actually have like affixes and shit. Yeah. Let's restart. How you doing, Cammy? What's up, Ben? In a sec, man. Yeah, these are like banger changes. They're really, really good changes. Death penalty is stupid. I understand why they have it and why they want it. Isn't liquid death just water? Yo, Masterbit, thank you for the 3 months, my dude. Death count instead of timer. I have 2 young kids. If one yells, I can't just sit down for 45 minutes plus queue. But my break would only ever be less than 5 minutes. It's water with flavor. Another Disc Priest meta season, I beg. Maybe. No, I think it's fair that at 12s, that's when they add Challenger's Peril. I'm not going to lie, I actually think that's fair. Key requirements to achieve some key rewards have been reduced. Hero tracks available in end of chest runs from 6s. Gilded crest you can get from 7s. Yippee. Ever played TFT? Nah. Not me, man. 20 gilded from 12s and up is pretty nice. I want them to keep on going. Give me more gilded. Give me more and more gilded. Alright, what's the clip, Ben?
Or amplifiers. Clicky, clicky. Drainy, drainy.
Oh, Visario got hit. Wait, it canceled one. I saw it.
Out. Only one go in.
Wait, what the fuck is happening?
Turrets. Or amplifiers. Clicky, clicky. Drainy.
Oh, he's like a dragon. Okay. I was wondering why it looked like he was still flying and shit.
Out. Only one go in. Touch each other, then one goes in.
Nothing happened, right?
No, okay, you have to be both. Yeah, for sure.
Pretty good ramp.
Well,
Pretty good ramp with all the damage going off. Yeah, it was almost 5 mil. I don't know. I got some insane ramps on this fight with Voidweaver. I got some... Actually, let me see one more thing. Was this with overheal protection and shit?
Turrets.
Let's see. He had... Piety and Insight. Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. He had both premonitions. He had both premonitions up. He had Pet. He had Schism. Yeah, he used like everything. So you're not going to get... And he's also playing Shadow Fiend too. So he kind of like blew his entire load into one mechanic. It kind of blew everything into one. It's cool to see the max, but I'm pretty sure Voidweaver is still gonna be the sauce on a lot of fights. And uppies. Yeah, so it's Shadow Fiend, uppies, both premonitions. And it's pretty sick, but it's kind of what I think about Oracle in general is like, in order for Oracle to do good healing, you kind of have to stack everything together, you know? For a spec that like initially was brought around to just do good consistent healing, it's so much on like, you need to stack your Pet, your Mind Blast, all your premonitions and uppies and all this stuff to like do good stuff. Are you ready for Liberation of Undermine? Dude, I can't wait. Yep. Are you talking about like PTR and stuff, Bacon? Is there a cap to Gilded in the beginning? Yeah, there always is. Yeah. So, live, exclamation point guides, PTR, exclamation point Discord. Yeah. Season 2 might be Gigafire. I hope so, man. I've been running Radiant Power in dungeons and stuff. Yeah, I got you, Bacon. Yeah, we have all of our PTR and plus builds in my Discord under the resources tab. Yeah. Man, I'd hate M+ in season 2. Woohoo! Hopefully. Is Uppies not absolute trash in a plus? No, it's not trash. It's not trash at all. It's like a decent cooldown. It's not insane on its own, but it's like decent. You know, you Mind Blast, use Uppies, good to go. Yeah, I played all the healers in PTR at this point. So, yeah, there's gonna be like a weekly cap for crests, probably for like the first 2 months or so. They always do that. Uppies is ultimate penitence. It's where you like fly in the air and then you start raining down penance bolts. So, you can actually move with Uppies now. So, it's actually not too bad. Let me see if I can find a clip. You can actually move kind of slowly. Let's see. How do I... Edit on future, view clip on channel. There we go. There you go. See how you can move with it? Slide perfectly into a swirl now. No, you can move out of the swirls. Yeah. Pally, Druid, and Paladin. I would say Paladin. You like Pally for most world play, but scared to play healer? Do it up. Which slot of our dis tier set and S tier we swap with crafted? Don't know yet. We'll find out though and have guides for it. Yeah, this damage is quite wild. That was a fun fight though. Did I stock up on marinated maggots before the tariffs hit? I did stock up on them at the beginning of the expansion before the nerfs, yeah. While you have Uppies up, no, I don't like that. Come on. I think that's good. While you have Uppies up, you can like slowly move, and you get a shield for 100% of your HP. So you're not invulnerable, but you survive a lot of stuff. That's true. We haven't gotten the Warlock 15% nerf yet. Yeah. This Reaver's output in raid's quite good. Yeah, I had to do Monk because my priest like bugged out for a couple hours during raid test, and Mistweaver was crushing it. First time fully trying out a healer this upcoming patch. Thanks for the videos. You bet, Siori. You bet, man. That would be pretty good, Thomas. Can you imagine if WoW actually had a bunch of mods like that? Yeah. Yeah, you're not completely invulnerable or anything, unfortunately, but you soak up a lot of damage. Like if you look in this clip, I hit Uppies and I'm at like half health. Okay. So I'm not taking any damage until now. It soaked up like 2 full ticks of damage and then it kills me. Because holy shit, that damage. Yeah. Not gonna run with Mistweaver since everyone and their mom's gonna try to play it. I'm gonna queue with Druids and Disc Priests instead. Let's go, Disc Priests. Yeah, there's some really good ones now. There's some really good ones. This version should have a more rewarding point of entry, smoother progression, and overall lower difficulty than players experienced in Season 1. There you go. They removed Challenger's Peril for the people who need it. No, I mean, I think adding it to 12s only is actually good, because then you enter like the sweat zone, you know? And so if people want that 3K mount, they're going to have to do 12s and I guess some 13s. Alcoholic, thank you for the 9 months, my dude. So, how's Mistweaver's healing? Ramping with Envelop Mist or Yulan, spam Vivify, basically. And then you also have a Rising Sun Kick replacement that you use to like extend your haunts and make them heal more. Yeah. Yeah, so Guile doesn't buff trash anymore, Zwab. It just adds Challenger's Peril. Yeah. Mistweaver to level 1 is fan-freaking-tastic. So there's like two healer specs right now, I think, that blast enough HPS to be really, really good next season. And that's Mistweaver and Disc Priest. Yeah. Gameplay for like Holy Paladin, as an example, is actually pretty fun next patch, but the overall healing doesn't feel that good. Farseer didn't really get a lot of stuff to make it better in keys. That Wuthering Wave stuff they made is not that good for dungeons. It's maybe good for raids, but you just like are never going to be mashing Healing Wave 24/7 in a key environment. That Slot Machine boss, B-Words, is going to be like the best healer fight ever. That's like Rashok 2.0, but a little bit of randomosity to it. The Muggsy fight looked awful. We'll see how it goes with retesting. Sprocketmonger, trying to remember which one that is. Oh, with the conveyor belts? I actually like that fight. Yeah, hot take. Druid's got a lot of weird bugs to it, Jazz, when I was doing it in keys. There's times where I feel like my healing is like infinite, and there's times where not so much. It's weird. Mastery feels a bit better in general, though. I'm kind of leaning towards Disc Tetra, but we'll see. Yeah. Just main saying they blast HPS, typical Disc Priest propaganda. The Blood DKs know who the true healers are. That they do. God, I would love it if they brought 10 mans back to raiding, man. Ugh. There's like a decent amount of heal fights and stuff like that still in Season 2 dungeons. I'd say there's like a decent amount. The issue right now is that nobody's really pushing super high that you're going to be able to like see people get like wombo comboed. Or at least there's only like a couple people who are. Dude, 10 mans honestly would save retail. Just only have 10 mans for Mythic. That shit would own. Don't give me false hope. Stuff could always change. Sprocketmonger would be tougher than Kaveza and Obanax. Maybe. I am extremely curious to see how they're going to adjust Race to World first. Okay? Well, tuning for the dungeon, or for the raid, based on Race to World first. Having heroic weeks this season. Having everything open at the same time. I'm curious, because like they made Obanax into Kaveza pretty brutal. I think there's a good chance Prez will be great in raids. In keys, though, it feels like it's kind of lacking some output. It actually feels like it's a lot of work playing Prez, and not as much like payoff. Like, I'm keeping in mind all these different passives and all these different mechanics to pump out max healing, and then this just does it easier. Mistweaver just does it easier, you know? That's a lot of where I think many specs are at the moment. It's like, how easy, difficult is it to like blast the healing? And how consistently can you do it too? So. Oh yeah, it's right there. Can't bleed any keys 12 and up. I don't think it's 12 and up. Once player has finished all 8 seasonal dungeons at 12, their keystone will no longer automatically de-level below 12. Once a player's timed all dungeons at 13, the new floor will be 13, and so on for all the keys at or above 12. Oh, okay. So once you actually chest those dungeons, I see it. Yeah, here you go, guys. There you go. We get servers up soon? Yeah, surely. Right. Right. How you doing, Colony? Rework M Plus, put a cap on the keystone level so it isn't an infinitely scaling system. But why? Keystone Legend change, making you go to 3K? This is nice, actually. Yeah. Because they're decoupling it from the system that sets a floor for the higher keystones. So, like, that's a big thing as well. Yeah. But also, making sure that you chest all of the right dungeons is insanely important. Like, this season of M Plus is actually going to be so much fun. Okay? Are we there yet? Eh, we're getting there. I mean, I don't know. Fuck it. Do I just make a video about this? Maybe I do. Okay. This stuff is actually going to be insane. And I'll tell you why. All right. So, keys not depleting. The number one thing about this is that raid content is about failing over and over again until you overcome the challenge, right? Duh, Jack, I know. Issue is having to do that with 20-something people is exhausting and like a job, you know? Like we've all fucking heard that. I think it's a rumor, Ed. I haven't heard anything to back it up. I went over those if. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Okay, so the whole issue isn't at all about the grind until you get it right. It's about the timing. It's about, you know, getting people together, having the roster to play the video game. Because of the raid size, you have to play at specific times of the day. You know, it's work, right? With keys, you can progress the game without any penalty other than your personal time. But instead of sitting in queue, like the Brits would say, you instead are grinding out that key, baby. Actually playing the video game. Like you're actually playing and you're going to be progressing. Yeah. Like very nice stuff. How you doing, Bizzle? Yeah, the leveling stuff is actually insane. The game is gaming. Or one-shot mechanics? All right. Off to Siberia with you. People aren't going to be scared to put their key in LFG. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't remember what those talents are, Blackout. So, this kind of like actually fucking saves M+. I'm not going to lie. It actually kind of saves M+. Feels like you're waiting for the last person to figure it out. That happens a lot too. Yeah. That happens a lot as well. M+ is going to be insane. M+ is going to be insane. Yeah. All right, fuck it. I'm going to do a video. All right, fuck it. I'm going to turn off this. And make mystery meta. We'll see. Okay. Fuck. Where do I face again? Is this looking at chat? Sorta, kinda. All right. Fuck it. We go with him. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jack. Blizzard just made a huge post about how they're effectively just going to save M+, and everything is going to be joyous in the world, and I really think that they've nailed it with these changes. So we're going to go over them real quick, talk about why they're so important, and why I think that this could be probably the best M+ season we're going to be getting in a while, and not actually be hyperbole. All right? Trust me. So they really identified one of the major issues for why people just don't know what the heck they're doing in dungeons. As they mentioned, how a lot of the rewards are just not quite balanced properly. They lay out this scenario where people are going into delves, they're doing all the gear that they can, they're going and getting all the gear they can out of the delve system, and then they don't have the experience really for the dungeons themselves because they're entering at a level that's going to give them gear, because why the heck would you do lower dungeons that are not giving you any gear? Problem is, M+ was so freaking brutal that people are getting annihilated in 7s and just having an awful time because you have people without experience who have not done the dungeons consistently enough to learn the mechanics because they were, you know, just doing solo delves, and then this was the next thing on the track. And so what they're doing is they're trying to align what is giving you good stuff versus the sort of progression path you need to take for it to be successful. So once you're done with delves, you're actually going to be going into Mythic Plus, getting good rewards from the beginning, and not getting smacked down in the face and have some super difficult content. A couple of things that were smacking you in the mouth were things like Challenger's Peril, adding the extra timers to your deaths. That's now getting moved, and they're now shuffling around a lot of the affixes we'll go over in just a second. But they also talk about how important it is to have this like 2 to 6 level key range to really like allow people to learn, understand the dungeons, do them. Like literally everybody is learning these dungeons by doing them, you know, and it's not like anybody's like super special or whatever. But if you're not rewarding people for doing those keys, they're not going to learn at the low level, and you know, they might brick a high level key because they're not experienced. So let's go over the actual chart in terms of what they're doing. They're making it so that Mythic 0 is giving you better gear than before. They're making it so that a 2 doesn't have any affix. It just, you know, just has a timer. A 3 doesn't have any affix. It's still just the timer. Then Xal'atath's Bargain gets added at a 4. Fort and Tyrannical added at a 7. The other option at the 10. And then 12, while it's called Guile, this is actually turning into Challenger's Burden. So there's no more technically Challenger's Peril, I guess is what it's called. But this actually starts at the level 12. That means that the actual punishment for dying is going to be at really like the sweat zone, basically. When you're at a level, when you're at 12s, people should know the mechanics to the encounters. They should know how deadly they are. But at the exact same time, there's not an increase in enemy HP that adds this extra layer to making things even more brutal. So they're trying to do what they can to sort of bring down the nasty plus 12 wall that you're fighting up against. And so they even mentioned, while the mechanics could feel overly punishing for groups still learning and progressing towards gear rewards, a focus on clean execution remains appropriate for the upper echelons of the system, and removing the extra 10% stats should make the transition into the prestige tiers of the system feel like less of a wall. So they want it to be difficult, and I think it's fair to have 12s be difficult, because if you look at the chart, right, your end of dungeon rewards end at a 10, and your vault rewards aren't getting any better, right, at 12s. You're just getting more gilded crests. So there should be like a higher expectation for, you know, knowing mechanics, knowing what the heck you're doing, while at the same time allowing people to gear more easily and gear really like more steadily throughout the M+ process, and actually start going up through the ranks, you know, with a reasonable assumption that your 0s and 2s and 3s should be timed and give you some decent gear and not just, you know, kind of be awful. But perhaps one of the biggest reasons, you might say that, hey, this is all like well and good, but why would this be the M+ season that's going to be better than anything ever before? Well, I'll tell you. So they're making it so that keys don't deplete. But there's a little more to that, all right? Originally, they were saying, hey, if you hit 2850, keys under 12 will not deplete. Oh, yay, huzzah, you know, that helps a lot of people. But they're now changing it so that once you have chested every dungeon in that season, all 8 dungeons at X level, you will no longer de-level below that level. So if you timed all 12s, their keystone no longer automatically de-levels below a 12. Once a player's timed all 13s, the new floor will be 13, and so on for all of those keys. You can still de-level those keys as much as you like, but now they're making it so that as you're rising through the ranks and progressing into the dungeons, your keys aren't going to be depleting, and you don't have to have that additional sort of like stress of like wasting your dungeon in a pug group or anything along those lines. So that way, they're making it so it's a comparable level of challenge and prestige for the higher dungeons, and you don't have to worry about getting the achievement or anything like that just to be able to have that option as well. So I like that they're changing the rating to 3K, since they are making some of the key levels like a little bit lower. And then perhaps one of the biggest things that I like about this is that when people sign up for dungeons, they're always going to be worried about like bricking their key or wasting it, and then you have to do lower keys and all of this other stuff. But now you can actually kind of treat M+ a little bit like rating, where you can, let's say you have a 13 and you've timed all of these 12s and everything like that before, and you say, okay, let's go and try to progress this dungeon. If it depletes, it's unfortunate, but it'll only go so low as a 12, and then we can make sure we get it done on 12, and we can go from there. And it's actually going to kind of turn into progressing the dungeons a little bit further. So progression keys might be a little bit challenging still, that you only have your one shot at a 13, and then you kind of have to move on. But what I like about it is it's going to be really valuable for a group or a team to have a 12 and let's say a 13, or a, you know, a 14 and a 15 if their floor is 14 or something like that, where you can sit there and just kind of grind out, you know, that higher level key, you can grind out that base level key. So if your floor right now is a 12, you can just grind it out, make sure everybody understands what the heck's going on, especially those who haven't done the dungeon as much at that level, since it's only If it's your key, then that means, hey, it's not going to deplete below the 12. And then it also is going to make it easier to start progressing into the next level of keys, because once you've seen the strategy, once you've seen the setup in mind, you can run it a couple times without worrying about depleting, and then you can go right back into the higher level dungeon, know what you're doing, and then play to win. I love this. I'm a huge fan of it, and I think it's also going to be really valuable for getting people to kind of like mix around and play with each other a little bit more, because there's going to be less threat of like wasting your key. And there's a lot of times where if I as a healer have already timed all 14s, but my buddy really needs this 14, but he hasn't really done it before, you can actually just sit there, and since I'm the key holder, we can continuously be progressing this dungeon together, and then they're going to get the experience, they're going to learn, and it's basically like you're logging in to start progressing these dungeons. It's going to be really nice to see. Certainly for people who want to sell dungeons, it's going to be really nice because you're going to have a couple attempts at making sure you chest that 12 for somebody who wants to get that 3K achievement as well. And I think one of the most fun things about raiding is actually being able to smash your face into a difficult objective with your friends and then go to complete it. The challenge with raiding is there's so many times where it sort of just feels like a freaking job, because you need to get everybody together, you need to get everybody on at the same time, you got to log in at the same times, at the same place, all of this stuff, and it can get really frustrating. But when you only have to do it with 5 players, you can easily pick up somebody and you can easily game with them, which I think is going to be super fun. I will say that there's going to be quite a few areas where you may have some people get kind of boosted up by this system, and you might want to be like, I don't expect it to fully solve the issue of people being more choosy. Where do they talk about that? Basically, like players being more wary and more selective in filling their groups. That might still happen if your key is able to be depleted, right? But then I think that you're going to notice a lot of times where there will be groups that'll form up and say, hey, I'm trying to get my buddy his last 12 so that his keys will no longer deplete. I'm making this group. My key will not deplete. Come to the group. Commit to grinding this out, and let's go get it. I'm very excited about that, and I hope it's kind of a return to a little bit more of like a community emphasis of like, let's work together for this objective, because you even see it all the time with like raiding and heroic raiding and everything. You go into the pub groups, one death or one wipe or something, and a bunch of people just start leaving. I really hope that this is sort of a catalyst to sort of encourage people to sit there and start grinding it out, and also learning with other people. Also, Jam, thank you for the sub as well. He says, hi, YouTube. And there definitely needs to be something in the LFG where you can kind of like mark that your key is not going to deplete, or that it will deplete, because that's going to be a big deal when it comes to a lot of the group selection. So yeah, it'll be nice if somebody is kind of like breaking into a higher plane, and then they're kind of bringing up other people with them because their keys are not going to deplete at the same time. But there's also going to be those moments where, oh, if you don't communicate that your key could get bricked, it could get bricked by somebody doing a dumb play, and that could also be a huge issue as well. So I kind of would love to see this done alongside some kind of system to actually hold like levers accountable for it, but I'm not quite sure how they're going to successfully do it without it being like really heavily abused. I do love that they're getting rid of the extra health and the extra stats and stuff like that with the Guile. I love how they're making the progression curve a lot smoother, a lot more rewarding. There's another mount that you get for hitting 3K in addition to, I think it's 2,500. So lots of good changes coming. And beyond that, not only is Blizzard listening when we cry and moan and everything like that all the time, but they're also listening to a lot of like the data and everything that the competitive WoW community and a lot of people have been posting about M+ representation, how much they've been playing. This stuff really seems to matter a lot to Blizzard, and I'm glad at least that they're making some of these changes. So it's awesome. I'm hyped about it. I hope you guys are as well. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Big love to our patrons for making all this content possible. Thanks so much for watching. Hope y'all found it helpful, and I'll catch y'all next time. Yeah, positive changes. Okay, cool. All right, I missed a lot of questions. Feel free to let me know now. That's right, video over. Good night. Fiending for this next season? Me too. It's almost like you already watched the video, but you know you haven't though. So you know, make sure that you are liking and subscribing. Feel free to skip over your messages. What are you doing? What are you doing, Coffee? Immersion depleted. No deplete will help Jack's PTR keys. That's so messed up. That's so messed up. I don't always do one takes. I try to do some one takes when I can, though. But I don't always. Oh, I was wearing the exact same shirt, but now it's going to be a different camera angle. Hee hee. Hey, key holders, your key going to deplete if I leave? No? Okay, see ya. Maybe. Well, like that is a very fair concern, Captain. I agree. I think it's a very fair concern. So, like, A, it's good that they're not going to be punished, but B, something's got to be done. Something's got to be done about that. Big editing stream, Frank. Oh my God, watch my amazing process. Hey! Hey! Yeah. Oh, honestly, I need to go watch that Frank video. Yeah. But as if people cared about depleting the keys more than ever before. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that. There's sort of like an anti-community aspect to M+. And I think it's a big part of the reason why like classic hardcore is getting pretty successful. And I'll catch y'all next time. It is a pretty big deal. We got to get your zoom in and zoom out of my timeline bound. I would love some editing practice, but I also don't really love editing. So if I was gonna do it more, you know, yippee, M+ saved. I often do not do my own editing. Not anymore. Not anymore. Usually I hire a guy and he's amazing. Saves his files like they're clickbait. I mean, yeah, you gotta hype it up a little bit, bro. No one's gonna be watching some video. No one's gonna be watching some video of like, oh, I guess M+ got some okay changes, guys. I guess, I suppose. No, you gotta hype it up, bro. You gotta be like, let's fucking go. M+ save. Woo! FPS is gone. Wait, what? The stream FPS? Oh, it is a little bit, yeah. Let's see the thumbnail. I gotta work on that. Let's go. Let's go work on the thumbnail, chat. Let's go work on the thumbnail. Yo, Memnock, thank you for the 7 months. Choppy stream from the encoding. Yeah. All right, don't worry. Well, let's listen to Jack and Button video. What? I even said thank you for the 7 months, Memnock. Yeah, I need my best face. All right, what face should we be using, guys? Let's see. What do we like? Like the green? It's pretty nice. I like the blue. Black's pretty good too. Oh, that green's pretty hype. That green is pretty hype. I don't know about that one. I need a better camera. You need a better attitude. Wait, what do you mean? My camera's great. Bolder names for the reactions? Yeah. The green? All right, bet. Green one? All right. Love it. Love it. What should we do for title? Mythic plus. What up, big dog? How you doing, beta? Thank you for the 3 months, dude. Whoop. Do we just go Mythic plus is saved? Yeah. All right. Please donate to Jack into a nice shelf in the background of plants. Yeah, I don't own any plants. I don't own any plants, unfortunately. Had some shatters of blurred text. I got some extra goodies. I got some extra stuff in here. Let's see. WoW stuff. Meeting stone. Blizzard. Gotta make it more. Okay, okay. All right, I got it. Hang on. I'm gonna do a little fat switcheroo. Blizzard saved Mythic plus. There we go. How's that look, guys? No blizzard. Superimpose your face onto a meeting stone. I'm not that talented. That is a good idea though, but I'm not talented like that. Jack saved N plus. A tiny little again. Feedback saved. Start 10 key holders in like first pull, disband. I mean, that'll, I don't know if it'll disband, but maybe a little bit. Microsoft saved up plus. Oh, man. I have a lot of, look at all these look at all these arrows, guys. All right, I'll get rid of the circles. Look at the pointies. Lots of pointies. Yeah. Have a light coming out of my eye. Okay. That's when I send it to the editor. He makes it look better. He makes it look even better. All right, I don't think we need any in-game backgrounds or blue post backgrounds. A little basic purple, I think. I was thinking about a blue post background, but I've been using those a lot for other updates. Yeah. Dude, if you guys want to add my face into a meeting stone, please feel free. Yeah. Listen, the special effects are absolutely my editor. He pops off. Ooh, what about the you died? What about the you died? Should we just add a whole bunch of garbage into this? No? You don't want the you died? But I like this to have fewer buttons to press? Not really. Not feeling it? Like the original? Wait, what original? Make the arms bigger too? I'll ask my editor if he can make my arms larger, yeah. Yeah. Oh, true. We gotta go quick, because Radness is probably gonna make a video about this as well. We gotta go quick. I kind of wish I had some more basic backgrounds. Yeah. Get rid of the CC not stopping cast problems? No. Unfortunately. I think this is good. I think this is good, chat. Blizz saved. Wow. Yippee. Uh-oh. Oh, it's exactly 2. Oh, I don't know if I can do that. Yeah. Can't be bigger than 2 megabytes. Tell's already posted his. That fucking guy. That fucking guy. All right, I think this is good. Upload video. There we go. Which Avix was Challenges Pair? It was like a 7 or an 8, something like that. Something like that. How Blizzard is saving Mythic Plus. Blizzard is saving Mythic Plus in 11.1. Yeet. Undefined patch, most with. There we go. All the WoW content creators in a content drought racing for views. Yeah, man. Listen, you gotta have that dog in you if you wanna make the content. And sometimes just being first. Sometimes just being first is it. Okay? Sometimes it's all you gotta do. And sorry, I'm not showing you guys how I make videos. Race the world first YouTube video. Yeah, if not for having to take my monitors apart and put them back together again before stream, we would be kind of rolling. We would be kind of rolling posting this first. What day is today? The 28th at 2:30 p.m. Bam. Don't understand the hype. Yes, to be a nice quality of life, but it won't affect anything when you're progressing a certain key level. The only people who are actually be affected are the rank 1 pushers, who they won't have to worry about their homework keys too much. Doesn't it also go all the way down? Right? Yeah, it's very much a dwarf season. That's why it took so long to turn on the stream. Listen, man, my neck was hurting, okay? Because all my monitor stands, this is too short on my desk, okay? So I sit up straight, right? Right? Is like kind of the length of the torso. If I like mount it to the desk, right? This would be in its mounted position. And then it would go up to like maybe around here. And I would be like leaning down and then looking into my monitor, and it was hurting my neck. So I had to get a new one of these, which is like twice as long, twice as freaking tall, and hopefully it'd work. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see any release date for season 2 yet. Buy a longer pipe? That's what I did. That's what I did. And I just shoved everything on that and then ripped the stream. 12s will become the norm for vault keyers because of no depletes. Yeah, 100%. But the thing is, it's going to be nice for other people to rise through the ranks, because if you're joining a group and you are trying to do 12s and you are late, quote unquote, to the season to do 12s, you know, other people are ahead of you, other people grinded more, whatever, then when you group up with them, you're not going to deplete their key. You're not going to be depleting their key or anything like that. And instead, you're going to be progressing with them. So, have I tried squatting? Yeah. Squatting's good. You get the beneficial portion of the affix even above 12s? No. I don't think so. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. I think they said it would replace it. There's a lot of debuffs and bleeds and everything like that to remove with Dwarf. That's why it's really good. Just want to say thanks. I started WoW a few days ago, and the cell setup with the mouse overs is a game changer. Let's go, Synergy. Glad to hear it, bro. Season 2 already? I know, it's coming soon. It's coming soon. Well, there's also gonna be Heroic Week and Mythic at the same time, Alex. Yeah. It's gonna be very big as well. Keep on milking. Thanks, Dad Milk 69. Let's fucking go, dude. Thank you for the prime. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, that's good. I gotta turn off the Season of Discovery stuff in my Wowhead updates. I'm fine with sweating, just an anti-fun to lose the affix. They come at like bad times in higher keys. Is Warlock mandatory in top? Is it supposed to? I'm using Google Chrome? Yeah, why not? There should be some patch notes today, yeah. There ought to be some patch notes today. Okay, chat. It's time. It's time. Remember that video? Remember that video we just worked on? And how much you guys like the YouTube and would like to have me keep making YouTube videos? Okay, it's time to go watch that video, put it on in the background, mute it, and then like and subscribe. Okay, cool. Thank you, guys. Wonderful. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jack. Those are just... See, I'm doing it too. Okay, boom. Huge post about... Mute you. Hit the little thumbs up. Wow. Oh my god, I love Jack. Yeah. Already watched it? Good. Good job, guys. Proud of you. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. All right. Real content creator react to the video. I gotta react to other people. Tanking for a PTR streamer a lot as brew, and he's now a brew enthusiast and thinks they're gonna be very good in M+. You tricked him? Wait, who was it? Who was it? Where do I stand on the classic drama? I don't even know what's happening in classic. There was that one guy who ran and didn't want his character killed, and then everyone like ganged up on him. Yeah. Do I need to press TFT if you need to heal with Master of Harmony? Yes. For the next 10 seconds after you hit Thunder Focus T, your heals are going to put hots on your allies, Marcel. Oh, you got it with mad skills? Nice. 500 trillion views incoming. Thank you. Thank you. Rerolling into Hunter. Never know what new meta heal tank is going to be, so got to be sure. There you go. Waiting on your advice, you should go Drakthir. If you're an M+er, I would say go Dwarf. I would say go Dwarf. That would be the big thing. Dranos didn't post a video about it yet. Holy shit. Tettles did an hour ago. Oh, that's a good thumbnail. Dude, Tettles got a good one. They are cooking. They are cooking. Let's fucking go. Why Dwarf? Because there's a lot of bleeds and various debuffs you got to remove. Carriage rat nose. Please release the patch. Dude, put PTR up. Blizzard Entertainment LLC, Company of Delaware. Please. Bring the servers up. Not watch any Boomkin opinions on M+. He's been playing Aug. He joined the enemy. He started playing Augmentation Evoker. Yeah. He started playing the old Augmentation Evoker, man. Ugh. We need it official? Yeah. Dude, they have so much they got to do for PTR. It's unreal. A lot of retesting as well. All right. Boomkins are the real enemy. So true. Another monk raid healing season. Holy Priest looks really insane in raids right now. I think Disc will be good in like some encounters, but not great in others. Where's the like checkbox filter? There we go. Why am I getting seasonal stuff? Save my frame. Wait, what do you mean, Arlen? Season 2 is probably coming out at the end of February, early March, something like that. Somebody in chat was like, it's the 18th, and then they just left. So they were probably giggling to themselves as they spread misinformation online. What can you do? Oh, thank you guys for all the wow. Thanks. Let's fucking go. Oh man. No, like monk healing looked really good. Holy Priest healing looked really good. Disc's healing was strong in raids, but there's so much movement on the encounters, you know? It's my stance, the growing interest in switching to 10-mans. They need to. Yep. Oh, it's the way I have my eyebrows raised. I know, seriously, Spartan. No, they need to do 10-man mythic raids really, really badly. I think the number one thing is like a big asset for WoW is being able to play with your friends. But as people get older, they still want to play with friends, but it's very difficult to get everybody together at the same time. As life changes, the more people you have, the more difficult it is, you know. Sad seeing this might be a preseason, forced off the class since we have enough priests in guild, but no one plays good Pally. Ah, the Pally prison. Understandable. Yeah, I played Ardurid yesterday on PTR. Yep. That's right, man. Can't be lying online. Oh, I can turn the music back on, too. Why harder to find 20 people who like to play with each other than 10? Yeah, oh, way harder. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, like, you got to find people that like to play together and then also have similar goals. Like, the goals part's so important. Because if people don't have the same goals and, like, some people want to be bums and then the other people want to, like, sweat it up, then you're not going to have a fun time, you know? So why is the time waste thing relevant? I actually don't know what the turbulent time waste is. But people have, like, cited that as, like, the reason. And I'm like, yeah, the time waste, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I got started in WoW playing 10-man raids, dude. That was my jam back in the day. Like this song. Oh, they just do that usually after Time Waste's end of the season releases. Okay. Yo, Skippy Kick. Thank you for the prime, bro. Oh, it was like an end of season catch up and the end of it lined up with the new patch. Okay. Made some sense. 10-man raids in Season of Discovery, and it was way more fun. You knew instantly who made the mistake and what happened. Yeah. You're like, oh, it's fucking Jimmy again. Yeah. It would be weird because it gives hero raid loot, so how would they transfer that if it crept into S2? Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. That's the thing, is like, raiding is a lot of work, and I think it's really fun. And it's really cool overcoming these difficulties, you know, as a team. But oh my god, it's tough to find the people. It's tough to find the people who are all on the same page. Alright, let me get some water, and then I'm gonna set up the treadmill and stuff. Alright, one sec. Oh no! The lid to my water bottle was not on properly, and it spilled. Luckily, no electronics are in the way. But it's been a day. It's been a day. Yep. Coffee spilled? Thankfully not. Thankfully didn't have coffee yet, but now I do. Thankfully not. Let's see. All right, it's gonna beep like 20 times. It's gonna be okay, promise. Let me see. How do I set a longer timer on this? Because it keeps turning off after like an hour. Don't know. Doesn't give me an option. Oh well. It just does that. It just likes to beep, okay? When we see me in hardcore classic, yeah, it's probably not happening. That's not my jam. It's not it for me. Just treadmill speed with bits? If I could figure out the tech behind that, I would. I would. I have no idea how that would work, though. Tattles also had a video I do want to watch. It's called The Expansion That Almost Killed World of Warcraft.
November 23rd, 2020 is a day that will go down in infamy for World of Warcraft. Every couple of years, World of Warcraft releases a new expansion which has new zones, new core expansion features, and new borrow power, and much, much more. These are typically the points in which many players come back to the game. Everything's fresh, the world feels more alive than it ever has been, and the game is always better on expansion launch. Your friends list is filled with people who haven't been online sometimes in years, and it's also at the top of the Twitch category on expansion launch. There are also people who you didn't even know play World of Warcraft. They got their start in gaming and WoW just because of how old it is, and so there's always surprise familiar faces that are even playing World of Warcraft on expansion launch. World of Warcraft also very old game, so you would kind of expect Blizzard to tend to build off of experiences and systems that were present in previous expansions and kind of improve these over time. You would also expect Blizzard to make fewer mistakes. However, there was one expansion in particular that was so poorly received that Blizzard needed to apologize for it after the fact. There was also one expansion that was so poorly received that it did massive damage to the reputation of the game.
Wait, did they actually apologize? Wait, did they actually do like a whole "we're sorry" for Shadowlands? Really? Huh.
And Blizzard is even on the record stating that it caused many players to lose faith in the game itself. And now the expansion that I'm referring to that almost killed World of Warcraft is Shadowlands. If you ask individual people what they enjoy most out of World of Warcraft, you'll get a ton of differing answers. Some people just love the lore, some people love the world content, some people are into raiding or Mythic Plus, and there are some who are into PvP, but I can't seem to figure out why. In general, though, there are just so many things to do in such a vast game like WoW, and as time goes on, the enjoyment of the patches comes down to realistically just the state of the game and how well the game is doing and how much kind of your friends are enjoying playing.
True.
And honestly, World of Warcraft has done a pretty good job of keeping players engaged, and that's why we've had this game around for 20 years. Now, this isn't to state that everything about the game was bad, but Shadowlands did have a bunch of key things that players disliked. And we're going to talk about these individually, but they were basically the lore in the story, world content, and expansion systems or covenants. All of these kind of combined to create a situation where the game had unprecedented subscriber drop-off. And this subscriber drop-off that we saw at a GDC panel indicated player numbers rivaled that in which we saw pre-classic era, which is very, very scary for the health of the game just in general. Blizzard also stated that they messed up and needed to reestablish their relationship with the players. But how did we even get here to begin with?
So one of the things, actually, when you pulled up this chart, I feel like this is such a big example of why BlizzCon's important. And it's going to be pretty shocking if they don't do another BlizzCon this year or ever in the future. Because, holy shit, it's insane for community building and like actually getting people to hang out and meet each other in person. It's insane. How you doing, Lucy?
The relationship with the players. But how did we even get here to begin with? So, coming out of Battle for Azeroth, many players were pretty hopeful for Blizzard to build on what they learned in BFA. Early BFA had issues with Azerite armor, like most expansions do. Early on in the expansion has more problems. Azerite had exponential increases in gold, which required you to reforge your gear. Many players, myself included, spent over 100,000 gold at once to reforge their Azerite armor. This unnecessary friction got removed, and Blizzard was like, my bad. There were also complaints on acquisition of borrowed power.
The funny thing about the borrowed power stuff is, like, if you didn't play back then, Blizzard would add borrowed power every expansion, and then they would add things that would be, like, really unnecessarily annoying, and then people would bitch, and then Blizzard would finally listen near, like, the next season, and then they'd add a new system that had, like, the same shit. It was, like, really annoying. It was like they started fixing up Azerite, and then they added essences. And then they fixed up essences. And then they added corruption. And then they fixed up corruption. And the new expansion was over. You know. Best two tanks around Plus and Raid. Not sure about Raids, but I think Prop Alley's still on top in M+.
Or systems, like the Heart of Azeroth essences and corruption/corruption resistances. In the final patch of BFA, Blizzard finally fixed many of these issues, and the players had kind of expected them to learn from these mistakes. So moving forward, Shadowlands is announced at BlizzCon, and Blizzard had a few things to showcase. First and foremost, they announced some new zones.
Okay. Tettles really missed out on it. Like, what this footage is, by the way, guys, in video making, is called B-roll. Background footage. He missed the ultimate opportunity for a show off my clout kind of moment. Because he and I were on stage together when Shadowlands was announced. And he's got to have some pictures or video of it. He should have put that in there of yeah, I was on stage casting BlizzCon, blah, blah, blah. Total missed opportunity. Come on, Tettles.
They also announced the core expansion feature Covenants, and they were kind of talking about how the new zones are going to be operating with these Covenants. These Covenants are the successor to Azerite armor, and they're pitched as a combination of player power and cosmetic enhancements, where you have one main core ability and then you have a signature ability. So you have like the Night Fae Blink, but then you also had a different Covenant specific ability relative to what your class was. And Blizzard ended up pushing this narrative of, I'm not a Ret Paladin, I'm a Kyrian Ret Paladin. And there was a playtest at BlizzCon where you had about 20 minutes of leveling in Bastion, where you were able to see the Kyrian Covenant and see kind of the new zones and just kind of what the questing was going to look like. This is fairly standard, and the hype for the expansion coming out of BlizzCon was honestly pretty high.
It was nuts.
So the beta cycle begins. Things are a mess. The game is actually nowhere close to being done compared to where they normally are for the beginning of a beta. There was only one dungeon available during Necrotic Wake, and there was a little bit more leveling than was available at BlizzCon, which is concerning. But most concerning, there were no Covenants other than Kyrian available for all the classes. This is an immediate red flag for many of the players, because you tend to have about 4 to 8 of the dungeons available immediately. You also tend to have most of the zones ready, or like being available for testing over the next like couple of weeks. And also there's an expectation of most, if not all, Covenants being prepared. To compare this to War Within whenever this launched.
Okay, so a little bit of a rewind. BFA had an Azerite system, right? And we just talked about. And you couldn't actually buy your Azerite gear from the vendor in beta, okay? I know that sounds insane, but it's true. You could not get it, and you could only get it from doing Mythic Zeros. And so every day, people would log into beta and do their Mythic Zeros to try to get their Azerite gear, to try to properly test it. It was ridiculous. So he's right that it was very concerning. There's only one dungeon. I think the most concerning is that there weren't all the Covenant abilities ready yet. But yeah, I totally get where it's coming from. Do I think the no deplete stuff will cause a key rating inflation? I mean, I think this will be the season that we see an all-time high key levels and ratings. I mean, yes, guillotine, but that's what people want. Yeah. People want to have higher scores. People actually want inflation when it comes to the video game. Not so much IRL. Although, you know, keeping inflation around 2% is good in general for the economy and stuff. You don't want deflation. That being said, no, people do want to, like, actually continuously do better. And they want, like, a progression system where they're always getting better and better. That being said, I think it actually is really good because it's like a step ladder, right? And you go up, or it's like stairs. It's like fucking stairs, all right? And if you are already up here, it's you. It's a lot easier for you to bring your buddy up to you because your key will not deplete and you can raise them to your level. Yeah. Nah, try me, coffee. I'm ready to fight today. I'm not taking any crap from chat today. Yeah. One power with 4 flavors. Yeah, they really should have been. They really should have been. Well, there's just too much bloat. Like, all the Covenant abilities just added a ton of bloat, you know? Yeah. Yeah, them saying the ripcord existed was also a big problem. Yeah. Yep, number go up, feel good. Changes when they came out and seen your video. Agree with you on all of it. Let's go, Alan. How you doing? Milton Freeman fanboy. Yeah, Alex, I went to George Mason University, all right? That shit's like Koch Brothers International. Although I did love the finance classes and economic classes and stuff, dude. That shit owned.
A lot of hero talents were ready.
Yeah.
There were 4, I think there was actually all 8 dungeons available immediately. And then the zones came out over a 1-month period. Comparing this to Shadowlands, this was criminally underfinished and was very, very scary as to what this released on initial beta launch. However, Blizzard typically pulls a rabbit out of the hat, and things that look a little bit underdeveloped will come along with time. Maybe this is something that they're kind of holding back, and they're going to actually be able to have this ready for launch. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, they're doing their job. I'm not doing their job. Moving forward, we get to the interview season, where Blizzard...
Well, funny thing, Berserker, is my parents kept, like, encouraging me to be, like, a banker or an attorney or an accountant or whatever, and that's what kind of led me to go get my degree in finance. And then afterwards, I got one opportunity to play video games as a job, and then I just left all that other shit behind.
really starts like advertising their game. They'll do some PR stuff. They'll end up running ads for Shadowlands as well. And they typically send out interviews to some of the most popular creators and news outlets. There was one interview with Preach that really stood out to me just as a player. Preach and Ian Hazukosis went back and forth.
The battle.
Blizzard, prior to this interview, was getting immense pushback with the creation of covenants.
So when covenants were announced, from the very beginning, people had beef with them, okay? And so this was like the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, Logan, whoever thing, except it was actually good, okay? This was like a 2-hour battle where Preach was up there talking to Ian for like the fate of the covenants, okay? Nuts. Super, super hype. Yo, grats, Juki. Glad to hear you got the interview, man. I could be retired at 25 like Gary Stevenson. Well, I'm 30 now, so that train has passed. Yeah, tragic.
Many players believe that player power should not be attached to covenants, yet Blizzard was really not going to budge with this. They wanted the covenant abilities to be specifically attached to the covenants, and in addition to that, they didn't want you actually swapping covenants at will. They wanted you to actually be attached to these covenants. One of the coolest parts of WoW is how you, the player, interact with your character, and typically you get unrestricted access to kind of cook up strats with your talents, how you're playing the game, and gearing like of your character, like what trinkets you're wearing and whatnot.
Whispers in the dark. That's a throwback.
Almost given exclusive control in making decisions with your character that you can change with little to no consequences. And so covenants and locking the covenants from being able to be swapped actually was a bit of a surprise from how Blizzard had given you your character in the past. And now let's listen in to what Ian had to say about this with this interview with Preach.
In WoW, if this easier if I had a whiteboard or something to illustrate on, but if you imagine a spectrum of permanence and scope of a decision you make. And at one end of that spectrum is the first decision you make when you start playing World of Warcraft. What's your class? That is completely permanent. Obviously, you can make separate characters, but there is no way to change that. That affects a vast array of your capabilities and strengths, and that is like the foundation of identity in WoW. Race alongside that, though that's more valuable, has lower impact. On the far other end of the spectrum, I mean, there's also micro choices, like literally what button are you going to press next while you're in the middle of a combat, but there are the choices that you make that are more a loadout. They're not part of your identity. They are, what are the tools that you're taking into this boss encounter, into this arena match, into this Mythic Plus? Pick your talents, equip your trinkets, what consumables are you using, all of that. Those are decisions that you are making tailored to a specific situation, but they're not part of your identity.
Rip Hellstorm.
Windrush Totem as a shaman. You're not a Windrush Totem shaman. That's not like who you are in WoW. That's just something you're using for a situation. And covenants from the outset were imagined as something that were closer to the identity end of the spectrum. And that, like, from the earliest conception, it was, this is a weighty choice that you're going to make. And to be weighty, the choice has to have some degree of consequence.
So meaningful choice was actually a huge buzzword for Blizzard during this interview cycle. They kept reiterating they wanted you to have a more permanent decision and a...
Yup. That's why all the Covenant abilities were tuned so highly, is they basically said, we want to have an ability that's more impactful, and then you kind of base all your setup around it, and it needs to be super powerful because it's part of your identity. And you're locked into it because reasons.
A meaningful choice with your character.
Yeah.
They wanted the players to feel like their decisions was more permanent than they had in the past, yet the players felt very strongly that this is not what they wanted. Ian Hazukosis later stated in future interviews that if Blizzard needed to, they would pull the ripcord and allow free movement of covenants. This kind of became a long-running meme in the community where people were begging Blizzard basically to pull the ripcord.
Literally, when you open the gates to it, people just swarm it, you know? They're like, we're gonna do this, but we could also not do this. And everyone's like, please don't do it. Like, crazy stuff. Our druid's all right, but I don't think it's gonna be like insane though. We'll see.
Gold even polled his community, and around 50% of responders were going to be selecting a covenant based on player power and not class aesthetic.
So, when was the last time Asmon even talked about retail? Yeah. I know Preach has a bit, but yeah, it was literally psychotic rage. I agree. Yeah. We don't know when season 2 is coming out
This
yet. SOS
is a bit of a red flag on Blizzard's end because they actually don't want you realistically only selecting based on player power. They want you actually selecting it based on the aesthetic that you more heavily resonate with. This is actually one of the starts of where Blizzard actually began to lose community favor. Blizzard here is basically putting their cards on the table and stating that they know better than the players. This is a position that you can take if you're Blizzard, but you better be right whenever you're doing it. Otherwise, the players are going to be very, very annoyed with this.
Classic. PTR should open today. We'll see. That's what we're just kind of rolling out the TV and watching some videos.
So this beta cycle, pretty rocky one with a huge community discourse around covenant swapping and just in general the polish of the game itself, like we talked about. This isn't discussed very much, but this was actually when the game was being worked on remotely during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. And there were definitely some developmental growing pains seen during the beta cycle of this game. Kind of like I was talking.
I wonder if he got demonetized for saying COVID. You used to. If you said the word COVID, you would get like demonetized on YouTube.
Talking about earlier. Just, you know, things weren't really ready whenever we saw it during the beta compared to what we normally see. Then Blizzard was actually forced to do something unprecedented. They delayed the expansion launch from October to late November. This is actually
Why? Because there'd be too many like YouTube grifters who'd be like making up misinformation about COVID to like get more ad revenue, basically. Yeah, basically just a bunch of uneducated people on YouTube who, so they were like, hey, there's not an incentive for you to spread COVID misinfo by making money off of it. So that's why they did that. Yeah. Honestly, I think it was smart. Yeah. You don't want to add a financial incentive for people to like freak each other out about COVID when they don't know what they're talking about. Oh yeah, 100% coffee.
A potentially huge financial hit as you're required to offer refunds to those who pre-ordered the game. This was also praised by the active player base, the people who play on like a day-to-day, because they could see the writing on the wall for how not ready the game was. There was also tons of bugs on the beta and things just kind of felt unfinished. This additional month wouldn't solve the issue of covenants, where Blizzard, they were basically making a stance on this as this is something that they are actively deciding on, but this should at least have the World of Warcraft game have levels of polish that players kind of learn to expect with the game itself.
Yep.
Having needed to delay
having like expectations for what things look at like are supposed to be like should be very, very important. You're right, Oak. PTR should be up at some point today. We are eagerly awaiting it because it should also mean class changes. If there's a new build, it should be class changes and should be more updates and stuff. We shall see. But yeah, having like expectations shifting all the time, a lot of people who play all the betas and PTRs can kind of predict in advance how buggy a season is going to be based off of like the PTR testing. And you can like see it and you're like, oh, like this is looking a little rough. And you know, then you kind of go from there.
The expansion and put their foot down on covenants. Blizzard was really dipping into the goodwill bank that they had built up over the last 20 years. However, the thing is that players will be fine if they're dipping into the goodwill bank, assuming that the expansion delivers. And boy, did it deliver. November 23rd, 2020, Shadowlands came out. The expansion had a COVID bump and received the highest sub count in the modern era. Everyone was hyped to grind World of Warcraft while they were stuck inside. However, the newness faded rather quickly as the first issues started to present themselves. The most
I love this because Tettle's put so much work into this and he wrote a script and he's trying to say it nicely, but he like he just has some like brutal thoughts about it. I love it. I love it. Dude, season 2 is gonna be sick, Berserker. I'm hyped.
Issues early on were the expansion related Torghast and the Maw. These were like open world content style things that Blizzard deals with. Blizzard tends to do a pretty good job with world content and secondary content, but Shadowlands was an exception. The Maw is one of the worst enjoyed zones of all time, with marquee features of the Eye of the Jailer and not being able to mount. Players were just not fans. In addition to this, Blizzard put player power inside of the mall, which is not typical of World Zones. So gating behind the Stygian reputation, there were purchasable sockets. This is the first time that you were able to actually buy sockets, which was cool. However, they require you to optimize your Eye of the Jailer gain and required you to finish the dailies every single day. And this ended up taking about a month for dailies that were pretty unfun to do.
Yeah.
So not only were there power gained behind Maw dailies, but there was also power gained behind Torghast. And Torghast was initially presented as a roguelike style game.
That's me! That's me! This is where we turned the Terragru into a chair.
Battle the Terragru's minions to scale a 100-level tower. There was no player power attached either, so it was purely...
We turned the Terragru into a chair, because that was one of the buffs that you could pick up. You could turn enemies into chairs and furniture and shit. And so we kept kiting it and tagging it until he turned into a chair and we defeated the Terragru.
Cosmetic.
Yeah.
In the initial beta inception of this, it was actually pretty well received, but it was eventually changed. Instead of being this 100-level roguelike tower that you have different powers...
Look at how different Tettles is now before he got to live in a penthouse. Yeah.
And different buffs every single time, it got turned into a 12-level grind, which was required to actually gain resources for crafting legendaries. So they added player power to it.
See,
these legendaries
penthouse life.
were 200 to 500,000 gold for the casings. Many players got very upset about the gold cost of these legendary casings and equated this to pay to win. Anecdotally, I know a bunch of people who purchased WoW tokens at this time in order to craft their legendaries. Legendaries are supposed to be a fun part of the game, and feeling gated behind gold was incredibly controversial. In addition to that, the 12 levels of Torghast were pretty tough. I had a friend who was like a title level player playing Priest at the time, and they needed to duo with other people to complete it. Meanwhile, Resto Shamans had it very easy, as Acid Rain was one of the most overpowered Torghast abilities ever, so you would basically zone in and out of Torghast over and over again until you got the correct buff to make sure that you were able to even do Torghast.
Man, the funny thing about it is, like, Priest was all RNG, because you had a couple really good Torghast effects. Like, you could fade, and then it would, like, detonate a bomb for where your fade was located and everything like that. Your, like, after image was located. You could, like, store up damage and hit a Shadow or Pain and, like, one-shot stuff if you took enough damage. There was some cool stuff, but it also was a nightmare because if you didn't get the right stuff, you'd get killed. You'd just get killed. Yeah. How about Holy Priest 11-1? Worth to main it? Definitely for keys. Yeah.
Well, it was also forced content. Most people would just say that was frankly unfun to do. And here's the borrowed power. Covenants, Conduits, and Soulbinds released as some of the most controversial points of this expansion. Similar to players' complaints on the beta, the inability to swap Covenants was pretty poorly received. There was also heavy social pressure to be one Covenant for power and one Covenant for fantasy. I think Shadowlands Holy Pally is a great example. Many people wanted to be Kyrian for Divine Toll, but basically every single raid leader you'd ever interact with wanted you to be Venthyr for Ashen Hollow, one of the most overpowered abilities in the history of the game. Also, I accidentally recommended the wrong Covenant off of sim data and beta gameplay because the Night Fae Covenant for Druid got buffed 24 hours prior to the expansion coming out.
Oh man, I can't believe he actually brought this up. Dude, Tettles got raked over the coals for this, okay? People, like, I shit you not, okay? Like, not even like 2 months ago, I had somebody be like, can't stand Tettles. He recommended a Covenant wrong one time. Yeah, literally. People never forgave him. People never fucking forgave him. People got, like, upset with me about, like, the Holy Priest Covenant, even though everyone was playing Venthyr because you had to be Venthyr to play Disc, and it didn't really matter for Holy Priests. And I was like, oh, like, Necro's good. And then that was before they buffed up a bunch of Night Fae shit, and before you could swap. And it was like, oh, like, that's good. And everyone's like, no, it's, like, slightly better to be Night Fae. And it, like, didn't even fucking matter. And nobody was even playing Holy Priest with either of those because everyone was playing Venthyr. Yeah. Yeah. You still bring it up to him? Oh my god.
Nobody knew that Night Fae was better, so many people went the wrong Covenant. This ends up getting brought up still to this day as people ask me or tell me that their guild Moonkin went Kyrian, and basically the grind to re-level your Covenant was pretty annoying.
Yep,
and so yeah, to this day, basically this still gets brought up because of Blizzard's decision to create friction with the system, and one that I'm still annoyed about. There were also certain soulbinds that were typically better than others, but honestly, they just weren't that cool of a system. They weren't anything to write home about, and if honestly soulbinds were the worst part of this system, nope.
Okay, for those who don't know, Do you guys know what these numbers are? You see 200, 213, 226. You had all these talent nodes in soulbinds that you had to individually level up the abilities to make them better. Yeah. Yeah. You got all those extra items, had to cash them in, had to level up all your soulbind abilities. Woo!
Nobody would really complain. Conduits and conduit energy is honestly a funny one, though. So conduits were specific nodes that you'd select in your soulbind tree. Think of them similar to the old glyph system. And instead of them being spec specific, though, they were covenant specific, meaning that if you were playing Naya, for example, and Naya for a different specialization on your class, like say you're playing Moonkin and Restoration Druid, you'd have to commit some conduit energy to swapping the conduits around to have some that are more favored for healing and some that are more favored for dealing damage and more tailored to restoration whenever you wanted to swap. More often than not, this didn't matter. But similar to Azurite armor, whenever I was talking about it before, the conduit energy capped at 10, and you received 1 refund per day. I know people who were progging Mythic Raid bosses with incorrect spec conduits because of this getting capped. A lot of people end up playing alt specializations for Mythic Plus, and so you end up having to have this weird decision as to when are you going to actually play the correct or wrong conduits. This eventually ends up getting removed due to the unnecessary friction, but for the first patch, it was really frustrating to deal with, especially since we saw this back in Battle for Azeroth.
So you know what I did in a lot of early Shadowlands? I was playing like disc and raids, and then I would play Holy and M+ just because of the conduit shit.
All three of these things, with the Blizzard Covenant system, led up to people building a lot of resentment towards the systems that Blizzard had asked for a lot of trust in creating. It took a lot of goodwill away from the community and just ended up making the community feel like Blizzard wasn't listening. And this was a common sentiment that was presented over and over again, is that Blizzard just was not listening to the players.
Yep.
These are probably the largest issues that the expansion had on launch. And there were some pretty good things with the expansion, though. Arguably, they released one of the best raids of all time, Castle Nathria.
True.
They also ended up creating the Great Vault, which was the spiritual successor to the Mythic Plus Chest of the Past.
True.
Unfortunately, these high points got vastly overshadowed by the negative attention that the Maw, Torghast, and the Covenant system were receiving. But this is all fixable, right? So moving on to Season 2, maybe these things are going to get better. So Shadowlands' second patch, patch 9.1 Chains of Domination, was released on June 29th. More often than not, first patches of an expansion don't last 8 months. So this didn't really help with player retention in the slightest. Many players dropped the game a few months into the expansion, but a lot of players actually just took a break during the initial patch that normally wouldn't. So these players who are endemic to World of Warcraft long term normally don't take breaks, but there was a lot of people that were taking a break there. Typically, the second and third patches of the expansion get noticeably better as Blizzard smooths out the rough edges in a lot of instances. However, this was not the case with the new content, with a new zone called as Korthia, the Sanctum of Domination raid, a new Mythic Plus seasonal affix, and new Covenant-specific legendary patterns, and a tier set-like system called Shards of Domination being created. But the player base was really ready for a new patch here.
Okay. Shards of Domination might be one of the best examples of how fucking annoying it is PTR testing for Blizzard. I really like PTR testing, but they do this, and they did it in Shadowlands in particular, so many times. Okay, hey, the Shards of Domination are these gems you put in your gear and you get an increase in damage. Makes sense. How do you get them? We don't know. We did all the PTR testing. We did not get to play with them at all. We did not get to test them at all. We had no idea how to farm them, where they drop from, how it worked until like 3 days before the patch or some crazy shit like that. We had no idea. And then they're like, oh yeah, they dropped from the raid. We're like, oh, well, like, is it guaranteed? No. So people got benched because they didn't have the right gems. Literally, that's it. So annoying.
So Korthia is probably regarded as one of the worst zones of all time. A lot of people are going to cite the Maw, but Korthia is up there as well. And it was basically the Maw 2.0. Yeah. There were insane amounts of dailies in order to grind that you had to do to be able to gain player power. And this player power was conduit item level upgrades and sockets again. Basically, the increase in conduit item level was purely gated behind doing content in Korthia and upping your rep with the faction itself.
God,
it ended up
whose
taking
UI is
approximately
this?
4 weeks of dailies in order to be able to gain enough reputation to max out the player power required on this island. Not only was it a daily grind for player power that the community hated, but the content itself just, again, was not that great. Sanctum of Domination. This tier, unlike Castle Nathria, which is regarded as one of the best raid tiers of all time, had pretty mixed reviews. Personally, not a huge fan of this raid, but it comes down to kind of personal preference.
I liked a big part of this raid, I will say. Certain fights absolutely sucked, but other fights are actually pretty good. So I give it a mixed review. Wasn't the best raid ever, but it was not a bad raid.
Painsmith is honestly one of the coolest encounters of all time, but the rest of the raid had this weird tuning issue where it was noticeably easier than Painsmith. On top of that, the instance itself was burdened with a ton of instance lag.
So Painsmith was crazy because it was this massive wall. And then the boss right after that was called Guardians of the first one, which was literally like a patchwork fight. Easy. It was just like easy mechanically. You just needed to have the damage. You needed to have the healing. Like, and that was it. And you win. The balls on this Painsmith encounter would roll across the platform. And then you would have to kill some of the balls in order to pass through. But there were some walls that you would just have to jump around. And so Priest didn't have a blink or anything to get around at the time because we were playing Kyrian. And so you had to jump off the platform and then Goblin jump back on to go around the balls. It was great. It was crazy.
On top of that, the instance itself was burdened with a ton of instance lag due to Sylvanas' entity counter. This created a lot of like 2 to 5 second rubber banding that we had seen a little bit in Castle Nathria on Sire Denathrius, but this made the entire raid some weeks unplayable. While this tier wasn't better than Castle Nathria, if this was, again, the worst part of the patch, nobody would have really said anything, or nobody would have had.
You couldn't lock Gateway through the balls. You could only lock Gateway through some of the spikes. Yeah.
Tiers kind of come and go in terms of how sick or not sick they are. And Sanctum of Domination just kind of ended up falling after one of the coolest raid tiers of all time, and so it, of course, couldn't live up to that. The biggest issue, though, is that Sanctum of Domination had a new borrowed power system called Shards of Domination. And basically what these Shards of Domination did were there were specific slots of items from raid where there were empowered sockets. And there were 5 slots per armor type with 9 total gems that you put in these sockets. You'd acquire these gems from killing bosses, but it was RNG as to whether or not you get a gem. There were also people with full sets of gems after 2 weeks where other people would only have 3 total gems. And some people on average, I would say it probably took about 5 to 6 weeks in total to get your full set, like all 9 gems. But in addition to that, if you equipped 3 gems of the same type, then you'd have a large buff to that gem type. Unholy was by far and away the best, probably about 50% better than both Blood and Frost gem types, and it ended up giving you somewhere around about a 10% damage gain over other people who didn't have the set. This made early prog of this raid pretty obnoxious, as you had the RNG of personal loot to acquire the pieces of gear to be able to even put the gems in, the gem acquisition process, which was purely RNG, and then the RNG of needing the correct type of gem because Unholy was so much better than Blood and Frost. The acquisition process sucked. There was also tons of people who accidentally deleted their gems, leading to these very funny screenshots that you can see on screen here, where Blizzard was telling you that it should just work, and players were like, dude, I accidentally deleted my gem. These were basically supposed to be tier set-esque, but these effects were things like damaging a target increases the damage that you deal to your target by 0.25% for 4 seconds. Stacking up to 3 times. This is the type of effect we're talking about. This system was cursed and players absolutely despised it, and it still gets clowned on to this day. Let's take a second to talk about like the lore of the game. There was all
So like they didn't test the shards in PTR at all. They didn't test the shards in PTR at all. We had no testing for the acquisition. It was just a rushed mess. It was bad. You know, like, it wasn't even properly tuned. It wasn't even fucking properly tuned at all. They just like sent it live. Like so many times, and Shadowlands is a great example of this. So many times they set up these, I don't know, bard power increases, power gains, whatever you want to call it. These hype moments, and then they just don't polish them, and then we have to deal with the lack of polish, and then they eventually fix it later, but it just pisses people off, you know? Exclamation point, treadmill, Kiro. Yeah.
Also, this 1-2 punch from BFA to Shadowlands back to back, where BFA as a premise was already rough, where there was this massive faction war when it made the least sense, and coming directly after everyone teamed up to defeat the Legion in a neutral faction agnostic order halls. This is where they turned Sylvanas from an edgy anti-hero type who has still done some pretty evil acts, who still kind of serves the Horde, into a mustache-twirling villain. They character assassinate a ton of other Horde characters so they can run with this story. Plus, there's also a number of horribly story details I won't get into, but the overall universe of WoW is mostly still fine. There's a chance that maybe we can get a little bit of payoff story-wise for the Sylvanas stuff that they've been shoveling at us for the past 2 years.
This is also the time that Avengers Endgame came out. And there was all like the, Thanos collects the gems and snaps everybody out of existence. And there was this whole jailer bit where he collected all these sigils, which were not talked about like at all at the beginning of the expansion. Were kind of rolled in later on. And everyone's like, oh, it's just the Thanos shit, Rough timing. Rough timing.
So now, Shadowlands comes in, drops a fucking nuke, like absolute nuke. So much of the overall macro of the WoW universe gets damaged. The cosmology of all the previous in-game religions, the Dreadlords, Elune, that kind of thing. The Jailer is probably the worst villain I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And his most memorable trait is his nipples, man. His nipples and his bald head. He has such little screen time, but is also responsible for, or he's at least very involved in pretty much every single event that's happened in 30 years of Warcraft history.
It's really missed opportunity again. He did not do any close above the nipples.
The Dreadlords were just the servants of the Jailer, so now Sargeras looks like an idiotic pawn instead of the actual final boss antagonist of the game that he always has been. Arthas's entire storyline is now tainted because Jailer made Frostmourne, and the Dreadlords influenced him into taking it. And now Kel'Thuzad is his most loyal ally and friend. He admits in raid dialogue that he was actually just serving the Jailer all along. If you like Sylvanas and everything that she's done since the end of ICC, it was actually just serving the Jailer too. The list goes on for literally everything, and when the final patch came out, they said, this is the end of the saga that we've been building since Warcraft 3.
Yeah.
So this dropped the ball really hard with depicting something as massive in scope and as unknowable as the afterlife. It pretty much ruins every single in-game religion that once again go back 20 plus years with the lore. With Shadowlands lore, after you die, basically your options are to either get tortured for thousands of years, wage an endless war on a rotting corpse as little as Bone Gremlin, or have your memories erased to make you an emotionless soul taxi driver. Or potentially, you could actually get turned into a seed and hope you don't get eaten by devourers. Oh yeah, that's right. You could just die again in the afterlife permanently. How cool. They try to skirt around this by saying, oh, there's actually infinite afterlives, but these are just the main 4 with the covenants that we saw but we actually never saw any of the other afterlives, and so it makes quests tragically funny. In Dragonflight, some of the priestesses of Inara were gushing about how after the centaur die, they'll join her as wind spirits. I didn't have the heart to tell her the bad news, that they're probably actually just a diseased tumor spawned into Maldraxxus and getting killed by A-bombs. And so people were arguably, and deservedly so, very annoyed with how bad this lore ended up being. So now, Korthia, Shards of Domination, bad lore decisions, lack of improvements to the Covenant system, Torghast, whatever else, really took a lot of toll on people. Players didn't feel heard, and they didn't feel like any feedback that they actually gave on the game ever mattered. Blizzard kept pushing it forward with the direction that they wanted the game to go in, which was in direct opposition to the direction that the players were stating that they wanted to go. Whenever this turned out to not be a fun experience, players were rightfully annoyed. Patch 9.1 Chains of Domination is probably going to go down in history as one of the worst patches ever. This, combined with the less than stellar launch to the expansion, made the subscriber numbers spiral into oblivion. I saw a ton of people unsubscribing to the game in droves just to go play Final Fantasy. And so it's not that they would never come back, but that iteration of WoW was just not for them. It would basically take large changes, and for Blizzard to rebuild a lot of favor that they had burned with Shadowlands for those players to be willing to come back. And again, not everything was bad though. Like patch 9.2, after Chains of Domination, patch 9.2, Eternity's End, had a pretty big bounce back. Zereth Mortis as his own, honestly fairly solid. There were interesting dailies that didn't gate player power behind them.
Good puzzles.
Torghast was finally under control where you basically didn't have to do it. Blizzard also finally pulled the ripcord on.
I hope that he actually talks about the new Torghast they added at the end, because there was like a boss rush version where you just got a bunch of cool abilities, you just killed monsters. It was great. It was actually really good.
covenants, allowing you to freely swap them. Tier sets returned to everybody's enjoyment. Blizzard also created this initial thing called the Creation Catalyst, which allowed more players than ever to have access to tier sets. Double legendaries were pretty fun, and the content was honestly solid. Blizzard also put significant effort into a Season 4 with revamped dungeons and a new seasonal affix, and this kind of felt like Blizzard developers were finally starting to listen to the players. I remember a lot of the stuff was happening. I DM'd a friend asking, is this my Blizzard? After being forced into a lot of situation and a lot of stuff that players didn't want, it was refreshing to see Blizzard actually have a player-focused approach instead of creating unnecessary and unfun friction with the game. This was proven again on Dragonflight launch that the developers were listening more to players, and while not everything is going to be a smashing success, the fact that they were listening and trying to make more player-focused decisions was fantastic. Players are always going to complain about anything that inconveniences them. Part of an MMO is the grind, though, and at the end of the day, Blizzard has to kind of tone down the noise and make good decisions for the health of the game. They're much better at their job than I am, but Shadowlands was still a very dark time for the game. All right, that's going to do it for this video. I was trying my hand at a new style of video. Maybe it landed well, maybe you guys don't like it. I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.
Yeah. I like that. Kind of an odd ending to it to like wrap it up, but I liked his essay format a lot. Getting my own stream recommended? Only to me, yeah. Only to me. Yeah, Holy Priest went ham in 9-2, and then it was like 9-3 was when we were starting to play, what do you call it? Knife A. Still friends who absolutely refuse to come back to WoW, who quit in Shadowlands Season 1. Yeah, not surprising. It didn't recommend a wrong covenant, so it's a decent video. Well, like, I really enjoyed Cataclysm, but it was also my first WoW expansion and everything. So, I mean, I think that everyone naturally is going to, like, enjoy the first expansion that they go play WoW in, because it's just a fun game in general. But I think that's kind of how it is in a lot of different games. It's like, if a base version of the game is really fun, then like sometimes it gets enhanced by what they add one season, or sometimes it gets diminished by what they add one season, and then you kind of have to like make your mind up from there, you know? Yeah. What do you think of the changes released today? Good. Really, really good. I made a video real quick and I pinned it up at the top of chat. But they're very, very good changes. We're waiting on PTR to drop as well. Hopefully have some class changes. Hopefully have some updates. Hopefully have some good stuff. Yeah. I am very hopeful. Starting Classic, I absolutely hate it. Oh, man. Hopefully big brew buffs. I can only hope. It sounded like your keys would not deplete. Let's see. I assume that once you've timed all sevens, your sevens won't deplete, right? Just 12s and higher? Not how you read it? Okay, so it's weird. Last time, they were like, hey, if you get the achievement, then your keys no longer deplete below that level. Right? Am I insane? I thought that's how it was before. They said like 12s and below don't deplete, but higher keys do. That's how it was? Yeah, okay. And now they're saying once you've timed all of this level, that's your new floor. I'd have to imagine that once you time all sixes, then it won't deplete. I know like what they're saying is fucky, but it's also Blizzard and their communication's not great. Yeah. Yeah, we're going pretty well, Tayan. How you doing? They suck at saying things? They do. Well, they made it so it's not coupled with the achievement. So, they want players to set a floor for their high-level keystones, and they kind of go from there. The changes are a dub. These changes are a dub for sure. Yeah. Gotta get to 3K for the mount. It'll get easier. It'll get easier for sure. They nerfed key scaling. They did nerf it pretty hard. They did nerf it actually pretty hard. I mean, we'll see, Hilo, right? Because I would imagine it'd be better for the community as a whole that once you time all 6s that you won't drop below a 6 unless you want to, right? I usually play Master Harmony and Keys, Tayan, and then Conduit and Raids. Yeah. Yeah, there's still a KSM mount, and then there's a Keystone Legend mount at 3K. Tank video that pulls are gated by heal checks in every pull. In a lot of cases, they can be, yeah. There's a lot of unavoidable damage, which I think is actually a good thing. Yeah. Yeah, we did Yuki's. Looks like a big hero, yeah. I believe so. They didn't mention anything about it. Yeah, these changes are fantastic. Yeah. There's to be an NPC to, like, forcibly lower your key. Yeah. Yeah, that stuff would be really good. And it's happened once again. Spamming 6s for gear on releases to play? Probably. Well, they also have heroic to do as well. There's actually a lot of content to do because it'll be heroic, normal, heroic, and mythic all dropping at the same time. So there's gonna be a lot. Yeah, they need more transmogs, Coffee. They need to go back to adding like transmog weapons every season or something like that. Yeah. Is there a chance that as a holy priest won't be constantly declined to join an M+ party in the new season? It's only getting better because, you know, holy priest was kind of sucking. It was kind of sucking in season 1, so it's getting better in season 2. Not sure if it's going to be like meta, but it's certainly improving. Mythic drop, end of run up above 12s? That'd be too insane. It'd be fun, man. I'd love it, but probably not gonna happen. Probably not gonna happen. Yo, how you doing, Cardi? We're not sure when PTR comes up. Oh, Carm. How's Holy any better now than now? I mean, I don't know. I can't list all the changes. They've made a lot of changes to the spec. A lot of power in Apotheosis. A lot of power in your holy words. Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of videos covering it. I am chilling, Cardi. I changed my monitors, changed my camera angle some more. We're still figuring stuff out. My neck has been killing me today, so I'm hoping this fixes up a little bit. Hopefully. Yeah. Change the mount system instead of giving recolors and lock different colors and saddles. That'd be really sick, actually. That'd be really, really sick. So, no, the pictures are behind me. You can see them. I just changed the camera angle around. Just changed the camera angle because I had to, like, raise my camera so it fits above my monitors now. Yeah, I wouldn't know how to do it, Burrito. If there was a way I could, I would. Yeah. Well, that's because, like, the camera is, like, a foot above me. Yeah, it's, like, pointing straight down. Yeah. Because I can't fit it, like, between the monitors right now. There's only, like, a little gap. So I could, like, make a bigger gap to it. Something. I don't know. I'll figure it out, though. I'll figure it out. It was a pain in the ass actually just getting it set up. So Exclamation point treadmill. Yeah. Your husband's 1 inch taller than me. He gets upset when I wear any heels. Gotta add like a little block to his shoes or something like that, you know? And boost him up a little bit. The health and damage of a 12 on PTR will be the same as a 9. Well, aren't they upping the base M0? The health and damage of enemies in those dungeons has increased to reflect the improved rewards. Right? Far too healthy to play WoW? I know. But, like, we don't really know what that means, Alex, so, you know. That could mean anything. Yeah. I do like the idea of M0s being fairly difficult, though. Because when there's no time limit, you can just, you know, grind it out. And it's a weekly lockout, you know? Taking the way they're doing the key depletion floors, me too. Me too. Let's do it, idiot. It's pretty nice. Gets the blood flowing. Get all them steps in each day. Balancing out the scaling curve for M+, the growth will feel more natural compared to now. There's a big difference in 8s and 10s. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I like it. It seems like the more evolved version of the situation that they were trying to put together. So. Ugh. Yeah, they changed it back to weekly. I think they would probably open it up to be daily lockouts for M0 gear, like a couple months in. Yeah. Probably. We'll see. We don't know for sure. Yeah. Or should wear higher heels. There you go. They deleted half the tank busters and caster mobs. Current scaling wouldn't feel bad. True. Yeah. Hey, just getting some kind of mobility cookout goes pretty far, though. I used to have all kinds of like aches and pains and stuff like that a few years ago before I started my health kick. And then once I did, a lot of that stuff started fading away. It's really just been like my neck. And part of that's, I guess, just like posture. I don't know if I like broke something with... I swear I like broke something with my chair. And now the posture's like fuck with it. But I can't quite tell. Cut legs off below the knee. Something. Gotten too beefy? Chair surrendered? Maybe. I mean, I'm less weight than I was when I got the chair. Like 30 pounds less than when I got the chair. Who knows? Yo, Repentance, thank you for the prime, dude. Spot in the corner might be a bookshelf. Poster on the wall was going up? Yeah, the little optical illusion. Yeah. I'll probably get a bookshelf at some point. I don't know when, but, you know, at some point. Yeah, PTR is down, so we've been hoping and waiting for it to go up. Yeah, I mean, in the past year or so, Bamboo have gained like 15 pounds or so. I'm trying to bulk up. Yeah, Blizzard's version is soon, for real. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll get a dog or a cat someday. Not sure. Dog would be kind of tough if I'm ever, like, traveling for a race or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I've been losing some weight since I've been getting more steps in every day. So, I'm not sure if I'm gonna up my diet or what. I get a dog, get a rat. I already have you, Coffee. What do I need another one for? Got his ass. Low maintenance pet like a fish. I do like me some fish. PTR when? Hopefully soon, man. Dungeons this week should be the War Within Dungeons. It should be Operation Floodgate, Priory, Dark Flame, all that stuff. He did walk right into it. You know, now he's probably regretting choking back his snappy response earlier. Rats make good pets. I'll take that as a compliment. Is that what New Yorkers are telling themselves? Purveyors of disease. True. Have you ever heard of the Black Plague? Coffee? Come on. I did, Anicle. There's some good stuff. Some really good stuff. I'm amazed that they didn't get rid of the Shredder entirely. So, I don't know if I agree with the depletion changes. It still has the issue you only get one shot at, for example, a 13. They get to waste 30 minutes doing a 12. But that's if you are trying to rise through the ranks on your own. But if you have somebody who has gotten above that rank and they want to level up their key and it won't deplete, then you get to progress and learn that 13 while it doesn't deplete. And then you're going to be able to like get score for yourself, you know? Yeah, dude, new deplete system is very big dub. There should be class changes today. There should be the PTR coming up today. No idea if it will. Hopefully it will, though. There should be class changes, you know. But the key word I would always stress to you guys is should. For the past 3 weeks, I kid you not, the past 3 weeks, the servers should have gone up on Tuesday with class changes, with all that fun stuff. It did not always happen, but they said it was supposed to happen. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. There should be. Should. I would hope that we would get HPAL buffs. I think that Holy Priest is probably going to get some changes soon, too. I kind of expect them to kill off, like, the Infinite Apotheosis build that we've been running in raids. Yeah. Blizz wouldn't lie to us, right? Yeah. I need to make, like, an emote about should. They'll probably nerf Mistweaver a little bit. We'll see. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be a huge nerf for Holy, but they'll probably, like, fix the Trail Light bug and then also nerf down the Apotheosis build. We'll see. Because, I mean, getting, like, 60-70% uptime on Apotheosis in an encounter while doing mechanics and shit is pretty insane. Nah, I don't think we're getting Rapture back. Disc is basically just trying to hold on for dear life and, like, not get nerfed. I don't think it's going to be the end of the world if Disc gets nerfed, because there's independent tuning for raids and M+. So, like, the threat for Disc Priest is really not that high, but it's really high for, like, Holy Pallies and Holy Priests, because they have a lot of crossover talents that are used for keys and for raid, and they're always going to prioritize the raid tuning first. Think BM will get a nerf? I got no idea. Sometimes Blizzard gets it in their mind that they just, like, want a spec to be OP, and then they just, like, let it be OP, you know? Yeah, Mistweaver's still really good right now. For now. Pet reduction by Smite back in exchange for Rapture? Oh, I don't know if I would. I'm glad we're shutting the door on the whole smiting to get cooldown reduction stuff. Both hero talents for Monk are good. Master Harmony's better in M+. Yeah. Evangelism apply shield to 70% of all players. That'd be kind of cool. What would I play if I can't play a healer? A different game. I go heal in Marvel Rivals. There should be class tuning. We're kind of just waiting to see when PTR comes up, player. Okay, so Final Fantasy has cool healing, but the encounters themselves are not very good for healing. Like, unless you sit there and solo heal. But it's a little bit like WoW, where you have to, like, get everybody on, and then do, you know, the raid properly, and then, like, make everyone play differently around you to solo heal, or something like that. And it's like, eh. Yeah, I mean, I did 2 Savage Raid tiers in Final Fantasy. It's a fun game. It's a very fun game, don't get me wrong. It's just like, they want you to prioritize doing damage as a healer too much in that game. And the buttons they give you to heal are really fun. They just don't design the encounters with, like, as much healing to do. At least not when I played. Oh my god, this fucking knot in my neck, dude. In Guild Wars 2? Maybe at some point. I feel like I do need to get into some other MMOs as well. 14 healing's a lot of fun, but you hit a point where there's little to do in the week after Savage. Yeah, 100%. Your current tier is a little bit more varied from what you heard. Really? That's good. There's my massage gun. I have one around here. I'll have to find the attachment for the neck. I might actually do that. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. I'll do that while the ads are running. Let me go find it. One sec. All right, found it, but it ran out of juice. Ran out of juice. All good, though. It'll recharge, then we can go round 2 on it. That was a little bit better, though. For your thumbnails, do I have a bunch of pre-made shots of you making faces? Yes. I do. Yeah, it's very fun. Just do a bunch of, like, goofy-ass poses and stuff like that, and then see what gets added. I started a little bit of PoE 2, but then I fell into the Rivals hole. Yeah. How you doing, Buffy? I think they should have a change for the M+ deplete stuff to also include keys that are lower, because that's what it was like 2 weeks ago when they talked about it. And now they're only saying it's like higher keys. I have a feeling that it's going to be for everything, because that would be really weird to just punish lower level players. That'd be really weird. Because, like, obviously I would love it, you know, if there was affecting high level stuff, but I'd also hate it if it was not affecting high level stuff. F the noobs who don't like him here. Yeah, get him. They would say it's an incentive for lower level players to push higher. They might have just misspoken. That's my theory, personally. And then they would just make it so that, like, all keys don't deplete once you do all of them at a specific level. If it worked on lower keys very quickly, there'd be no lower keys would be your worry. I mean, I guess that is the thing. They don't want people to, like, degen throw their bodies at 10s until they time them. I don't... then they would just complete them for weeklies. I don't know. Blizzard is world renowned for their communication, so we'll see later on what they're actually going to do about it. I do think it would be a good thing. Like, if somebody in your guild completed all 10s, like if you have somebody who is really, really into doing M+ on their own time, if you have somebody who's really into doing M+ on their own time, and then they get 10s done before everybody else in the guild, then they could be the one giving everybody weekly 10s. And then you do it, you probably deplete it with your guild, but then you get to go into the next guild group and you still have a 10, right? I am actually sitting in a chair. I'm just a very large person, so it's just dwarfed. Look at this tiny chair. I'm just a mountain IRL. 6'4", 240. Built like Tony Romo. Is that actually his, what was Tony Romo's measurement when pro? 6'2", 230. There you go. I was walking a little bit earlier.
Play Evo Connects tier. THX.
Oof. Zeph, thank you for the 40 months. You don't have to play Evoker? Well, this figure's looking pretty tasty. No, I'm not 240. I'm 190. I changed around my setup a little bit. Basically, I had to get a longer pole. I had to get a longer streamer pole because my neck was hurting, and this was not tall enough to hold my monitor high enough for me to not, like, hunch my neck forward. And so I've been trying to, like, force correct my posture a little bit. I am actually 6'4". Yeah. Because lately my neck's been hurting, and I fucking hate these monitor stands that you have to use, like, 2 different Allen wrenches to adjust. So I spent $30 to get a longer pole for this to set up my monitors. Hopefully that works. If it doesn't, I'm probably going to drop a couple $100 on, like, really expensive monitor stands that I can move around more easily. Don't really want to. But tired of this shit. Yeah. 215, we have similar builds. Yeah, I'm very lean. I'm very slim. Trying to beef up, though. Chatting is expensive. Or streaming, yeah. Yeah, I saw Secret Lab. I saw Ergotron. There's a couple different good ones out there. So, is my key completions better average than No Romo's playoff performances? Slim greater than beef. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not upset about my build. It's just actually really funny how your metabolism can like really kick off. Like, I feel like I'm actually eating quite a bit more than I was at 230. But I'm only 190. But like my metabolism's just like working in overdrive. I'm just burning more calories and everything like that. The base metabolic rate, as they would say, has been increased by just lifting more and doing more stuff. Wait until I hit 40 or 50. Yeah, you know, there's always Ozempic and osteoporosis. Then boom. No, I think I'll probably be manically obsessed with health for the rest of my life. I don't anticipate me stopping working out and stuff. And then 40 will fuck. No, I want to be like one of the guys I see at the gym in the mornings who's like 50, 60, but they're like shredded. Yeah. Sure, you addressed this several times. Didn't hear what Blizz do to M+. They smoothed out the progression curve. They made it so that once you complete all 12s, then your keys don't deplete below 12s. How's it going, you massive unit of a healer? Thanks, Jorge. Doing great, dude. I don't really want a PvP IRL, Hilo. Yeah. I like the idea of doing, like, fitness classes. I might do, like, hit type stuff. But I don't want to PvP people. I don't know. I'm not trying to show up to stream with a black eye from boxing and jiu-jitsu and whatever. I don't know. Well, yeah, but like, I don't know. It's not that interesting to me. I like lifting, I like rock climbing. Do their training, it's incredibly good for health, fitness, and joints. I believe it's good. Show up with a black eye, I'm fighting. That is true. If you have a good instructor, you won't get a black eye. No, I don't really have any interest in like fighting classes or anything like that. I'd rather just do like hit workouts or something like that. And I'm just the healer. Womp. Yeah. Listen, I like going on the offensive when I'm playing like Rivals or Apex or whatever, but IRL, I'm good. I need to do more rock climbing though, because they opened a rock climbing place pretty close to me in North Austin, and so I gotta do that, because otherwise I was driving to like Central Austin and like into the city and stuff like that, and it was a pain in the ass to get there. It's a pain in the ass. Walk around saying you should see the other guy, which is 100% a Jack joke. Wow. I mean, yeah, though. You don't do heights very well. I just don't look down, you know? Wait, I thought gambling was like illegal in Europe. They have the lottery? 2025 list of games that's been announced. Which one's the most appealing? I have no idea. Not in Denmark? Oh, hell yeah. Hopefully you win the Danish lottery. Let's fucking go. Love lifting weights. Can't anymore. Squat close to 500 in high school. God damn, dude. Monaco's built on casinos. Yeah, but there's like places in Europe that are not like part of the EU, right? Confusing with loot boxes in games? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the lotteries aren't like that big, and so you just never hear about international lottery winners. I don't know. Yeah, Whataburger's like fine. I like their spicy ketchup a lot. Actually, I don't know. You guys probably can't even see it, can you? I have to go to this view, don't I? Yeah, I actually have a punching bag, because for some reason they just gave me a punching bag when I got the uplift desk. They're just like, here, have a punching bag. And I was like, all right, sure. So, yeah, I just have that attached. I just got that. Yeah, it's for when M+ keys go wrong and just smack them. Oh, shit. Not the best mount. Not the best mount. I gotta find... maybe I'll put it in a different spot. Damn. It wasn't me, Mom. Oh, I know what happened. This has got to go down a little bit. Come on, get on in there. Easy. Sorry. Don't know my own strength, you know? Don't know my own strength. I know, working on those guns. All right. Walking band's doing wonders. Yeah, it's going well. Kalamazoo's inspired me too much. I want to get big like Kalamazoo. How much are the uplift desks? They start at like $600 or $700 for some of the smaller models. Yeah, they're worth, dude. Honestly, even if you're just like standing, or even if you just like walk like maybe an hour each day or something like that, like it's nuts. I didn't like do a ton of walking today, but I think I still. Let's see. Still walked 7,000 steps today. Actually, we did a lot, surprisingly. Yeah. Almost 4 miles. The glossy OLED panel from Asus or the MSI. Yeah. We were talking about that before, right? Because I really like my my MSI Swift or whatever it's called, the 27-inch OLED. Yeah. Yeah, big fan. Dude, Clippy, you can move during uppies now, too. The Asus ROG Swift, yeah. I like it a lot. It's actually really, like, noticeable how much a better quality monitor and, like, better FPS and everything like that has. Don't know, Craig. We are eagerly awaiting it. Eagerly awaiting it. Moving during uppies enough to save you. It's as long as you like have decent planning. Yeah. Like obviously if like mechanics are about to come out and then you hit it, you know, it's not that fast. But basically like it'll save you from something that's like unexpected or whatever, yeah. Well, we assume it's gonna be a pretty big update, Nost. And they always do class changes when servers come down too. So it'd be a good opportunity to like see the class changes, test them out, and all that other fun stuff. So, as like from my POV, it's gorgeous, dude. There is zero glare. There is no reflection whatsoever. Who's gonna win the Super Bowl? We all know it's going to be the Chiefs, and then Travis Kelce's going to propose to Taylor Swift, and then NFL's going to make a bunch of money, and blah, 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 blah. And Nick Sirianni's going to, like, say something dumb, and everyone's going to run him out of town, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Weasel. I know. Is why all the other servers are down? I assume so. Yeah. Go good, your wife will be happy? Yeah. Nick Sirianni going to Disneyland. He, like, really proved that he's quite a good coach this year. But Philly media is going to tear him apart for losing. And they're like, is this enough? Should we fire him like we did to Andy Reid because he didn't win it for us? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, look at what the Eagles management has done now. They unleashed Andy Reid out into the world. Look what he's doing. Look what he's doing. They could have had it. They could have had it if they just stuck with him. But no. I love sports media all over the world. It's always the same. Yeah. See the new raid and found it hilarious? Yeah, it's great, dude. It's really good. Saquon goes off for 250 yards, and they have like 45 minutes possession and curb stomp the Chiefs. Me too. But it's probably not going to happen because it's rigged. We didn't win the thing. We should fire everyone who got us into pissing distance to the thing. Exactly. It ain't rigged. I don't know, big dog. I don't know. 2 weeks ago, all right, in the divisional round, Patrick Mahomes started slowing down to try to get, as he was running out of bounds, to try to get a penalty on him. Okay? And he got it. And then this past week, he started slowing down again, and people caught on to it, and they didn't make contact with him. It's rigged. It's rigged or heavily favored or whatever. All right. It's messed up. I've been that way since Brady. I've never seen Brady slow down getting out of bounds, though. Are you working on changing the rules? Yeah, because they're trying to cash out, get the Super Bowl for the Chiefs. They win their three-peat. Never happened in history, blah, 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 blah. And then they have replay assist, and then they, you know, and then they start going about and calling stuff correct. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. You touch Brady, oh no. You got clobbered quite a few times. Brady took those hits and then got right back up. All right. I still remember when he started mouthing off to somebody who hit him when he was playing for the Bucks. And he like started this all-out brawl. Like Mike Evans came in, started throwing punches and shit for Tom Brady. Yeah. Chiefs are going to choke. They don't choke, man. They don't choke. Yeah. Is Marshawn Lattimore? True. Typical. Squid. Thank you for the 8 months, dude. Dude, Marshawn. Dude, Marshawn Lattimore getting that penalty against AJ Brown in the divisional round last weekend was just such, or I guess in the conference championship game, was such Marshawn Lattimore behavior. I was not surprised at all. Get Chipotle or pho? I got Chipotle today. Yeah. Waiting for Coffee to say something about how I said pho. It's pho, Jack. Yeah, Coffee. All right. Different generation of football. You could schwack the quarterback and nobody cared. It was encouraged. Now you can't even look at him funny on the field. Yeah. How you doing, Adora? Seasons last too long? They do, but I don't know what they're... Like, they can't make content faster, you know? They can't really make the content faster. I wish they could. There's a video of a ref apologizing to Josh Allen for not making a call. All high-profile QBs get it. Just the higher the profile, the more they get. Meanwhile, with Tua... The way you say faux triggers you? Yeah, I know. Chiefs don't show because the refs bailed him out. Yeah, honestly, man, Josh Allen absolutely ran past the line to gain for that fourth down. I literally saw it happen. I got up, ran to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, this is going to be sick. Like, this is going to be a big push for the Bills. I come back, and then Patrick Mahomes has the ball. And I'm like, of fucking course. So you've been a Chiefs fan. You're taking all this in because when Mahomes retires, we're not winning again for another 50 years. You just got to do what the Packers do. You know, you just got to get some promising guy and train him up under Mahomes. And then hope he retires at the right time or something. Something. Yeah, I don't know what else they could be doing involving to like make content faster, you know? It'd have to be something like making Plunderstorm type game modes more consistent and have like those releasing and everything like that all the time. Which like, you know. They gotta be making a brand new map or something like that for Plunderstorm on the horizon, because only having like the same map with like horses and like not much else is like a little strange. Yeah. Dude, could you imagine Patrick Mahomes going to another team like Brady did? That'd be pretty insane. Mid-season balance shakeup. They usually have. Okay, that's the thing. They usually have, but they've been kind of slow about doing that lately. Yeah. Won't happen? Probably not. Probably not. Contract too big? I mean, like, long term. Like, what if he starts doing what Brady did of taking, like, team-friendly contracts just to make sure that they can actually, like, afford the guys? Didn't Stafford do that as well? Stafford, current salary, Rams. Ooh, never mind. No, he did not. 160 million. 60 million signing bonus, 130 million guaranteed. There is a salary cap in the NFL, yeah. But quarterbacks just like munch so much of it up. Yeah. Just a fan of high quality football. Me too, man. Me too. There's been a lot of good games this year. Started off a little bit rough though. Even do with that much money? You have enough money for your grandchildren or your great grandchildren to squander. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what was it? Derrick Henry spends like $500,000 a year on his body. I mean, yeah, it gets taxed a lot, sure. But at the end of it, your $160 million is, you know, worth $100 million, $120 million. Generational wealth to squander, exactly. Yeah. You have a bunch of stuck-up grandkids or something like that that can go and piss it away. Yeah. Nothing's worse than what the Browns did to acquire Watson. True. They should always be shamed about that. And it also makes it so that other contracts are looking less bad.
Love the content. Decided I'm going to main Disc Priest in 11.1.
Let's go, Mojo. Glad to hear it, man. Thank you for the 2 months. Glad you're enjoying the content, man. I remember when I grew up, Adora, I grew up near DC, and so the Commanders signing this lineman named Albert Hainsworth to a stupid contract at the time. Okay, and that was like one of the biggest busts in history. Absolutely one of the biggest busts out there in history. And now nobody talks about it because, yeah, you have stuff with Russell Wilson. You've got stuff with Deshaun Watson. It's like, oh, nobody even thinks about Albert Hainsworth anymore. Yo, Joker, thank you for this 6 months, dude. That's right. Albert Hainsworth from the Titans. That's right. He showed up like 50 pounds overweight, didn't want to play, nose, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, Jamarcus Russell's another one. That was back before they capped out rookie quarterback contracts. Falcons are fools for signing Kirk Cousins to 180 mil. Oh, yeah. Well, get that bag, Kirk Cousins. Get that bag, man. I don't know what happened to him that he just like fell apart mid-season, though. Kirk's manager's going into the Hall of Fame. He better, dude. Him and come on, who is it? He's the backup quarterback for the Chiefs. Won the Super Bowl with the Eagles. Carson Wentz. There it is. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, not Foles. Sorry, Foles won the Super Bowl. You're right. Carson Wentz is playing backup for the Chiefs. He's probably gonna get another ring too, and he's made so much money in the league. Yeah. Top healers in PTR, Disc Priest and Mistweaver right now. There's a lot of healers that play well in keys. They just don't do enough healing. Like, I'm kind of worried about Prez because it's a lot of work to set up the healing. It's very fun, but it feels like it's more work to set up like mediocre healing, you know? I remember when I was younger, Jekyll, Commanders brought back one of their like legendary coaches, and they had like 3 sucky years or something like that with him, and they're like, you can go retire now, man. What about our shaman? Our shaman's just kind of like doing decent healing. Not amazing, not bad. So, Joe Gibbs, yeah. Then they bring him back, and they're like, this is it. So, our Druid Meme Weaver for the rot damage. There's not a ton of rot damage. There is a good amount in like Floodgate, but there's still like a lot of burst damage. Or it's a lot of like the last boss of... It's the last boss of City of Threads right now, where there's like a few seconds of ticking damage, and then there's a big-ass burst of damage. That's a lot of the dungeons. Prayer healing any good yet? Nope. Not a bit. Yeah, good for Pete Carroll making a comeback. Yeah. Super Bowl was Buffalo and Washington. Yeah. Trying out Prez this season. I'm planning on going back to Disc and Holy Priest, even if Prez is amazing. I think Prez will do well in raids. In PTR, though, or in keys, though, just kind of whatever right now. Just kind of whatever right now. Let me in. Pete Carroll was scammed by Russell Wilson. Now it's Tomlin's turn. Bro, they had more issues than just the quarterback. They had more issues than just the quarterback. I'm surprised nobody's talking about this with the Steelers. But you know who was a problem? TJ Watt. I'll say it. TJ Watt was a problem. Not the only problem, but a problem. Okay? He wasn't doing anything in the last like 5-6 games. Like nothing. I don't think he got any sacks. So I have in the past, Liam. Way overcomplicated. Not as bad a setup as like Disc has. There's a lot of passives. I mean, I also do not like how they like deify Tomlin for just like having like mediocre seasons. Yeah. Because what? Didn't Jimmy Johnson have like an awful first season with the Cowboys back in the day? You know, like win like 2 games or something like that, and then he goes and brings all the glory to the Cowboys after that. Only Super Bowl was gifted by the previous coach. How do I separate the audio? It's a thing called VOD track karma. There's a lot of guides for it with OBS. It's a very simple setting where you basically just say, hey, audio, everything goes here. And then everything minus Spotify goes here. And then you just do it. Yeah. Surprised there are more tank changes besides Pro Warrior. They should be balancing them better. Because at the moment, I'm kind of considering Prop Alley still just being on top. No, that's fair, Ba. That's fair. Yeah, it's not like they're really paying Russell a lot of money on the Steelers. Yeah, I saw he's a big Bloody K believer, too. Bloody K was good. It was good. Thing is, if both tanks can live, which one provides better crowd control to shut monsters down from killing you? You know? Like, Bloody K could still be really good, and, like, grips are helpful. But Infinity Kicks is a little bit better. Especially in the stupid dungeons that require Infinity Kicks. I think Mystery will actually be in the meta for how much HPS they do, or lose a lot of value in World First Keys. People opt for either a Disc or something like our Druid. The best healer next season is always going to be whichever does the best healing. So, even though Mistweaver didn't bring anything to the comp in Season 3 of Dragonflight, they still were brought because they did infinity healing in Season 3. They just did such good healing that they were playing with Mage, Shadow Priest, Augmentation, and like what? Vengeance Demon Hunter, I think is what it was back in Season 3. It was like crazy. It was crazy. Tomlin's been the most consistent, or Tom Lynn's been the most consistent coach ever according to the numbers. Even minus the lack of Super Bowl wins, they always get to the playoffs. Yeah, but they never get like a high draft pick that could be like a superstar game changer, you know? It's like, how do you win a Super Bowl though? Like, man, the Rams had no problem. They're like, we will sacrifice many years of our franchise just to win this Super Bowl. And then they've actually been doing pretty well having no draft picks. I think that's what the fan base wants more. They just want to win one year. That'll like carry them, you know. Yeah. Well, augmentation at the moment, even though it's not buffing healers, it does tons of damage. So like as a healer, you don't really care about like the aug thing anymore because it's just a damage thing. Kurt Warner, the St. Louis Rams won the Super Bowl 25 years ago. Yeah, there was a movie about it. Actually, dude. Oh no. I just had a thought. So there's a movie about Kurt Warner winning the Super Bowl and stuff, right? Good movie. How long before they make a Tom Brady movie? You know, there's like an Aaron Hernandez show that's out right now. But how long before they make a Tom Brady movie? And how long until they have Timothy Chalamet play Tom Brady? I'm just saying. Actually, how tall is Timothy Chalamet? How tall is Timothy Chalamet? He's 5'10". He's a little short, but I'm just saying that guy's in fucking everything. Okay? I'm just saying, eventually they're gonna make a Tom Brady movie and he's gonna get into it. He's in everything. Timmy can do anything. He can. He can. He's a good actor, don't get me wrong. It's just when you see somebody in those things. Everyone's short compared to me. I mean, yeah, but Tom Brady was like 6'2". Oh, I'm just meaning scoping that he's just in everything, man. He's just in everything. Ocean's 11 where he tries to get away with all the cheats. Oh my god. Timothy would have to add like 60 pounds. Zendaya playing Giselle, yes. What was it, 80 Sarfita? What do you mean? Dude, PTR has been down for a very long time. Yep. Yep. Oh, man. Something tells me the cast of a Tom Brady movie would be deflated. Oh, I haven't heard about that. Could have planned out a cooking stream this time. Honestly, true. Honestly, true, John. Let's see. Where is that thing that Kalamazoo sent to me? Let's see. He sent me this ingredient setup. He sent me a cookbook. At some point. There it is. So wheels my desk so I can roll it into the kitchen. And do cooking streams whenever. There you go. Have the treadmill stream. I still have it. I'm not using it right now. Probably gonna take 8 hours to get up. Hopefully not, man. Is he pirating cookbooks? No, he just bought it and then legally shared it with me. He just bought it and then did it, okay? Okay. Where are recipes? Where are recipes? Here we go. What sounds good, chat? Queso chicken mac and cheese. That's probably gonna be first. Yeah, it's a slow cooker recipe. Okay. He put it first for a reason. That's right. Bell peppers, onion. Let's see. Red enchilada sauce. Which book is this? It's called Stealth Health. Oh, now, yeah, first you guys were like, Jack, you're pirating cookbooks. And now everyone's like, what is this? Yeah. Yeah. That's right. What's garlic puree? Do they like break it down themselves? Is this something you buy at the store? You buy it at the store? All right. Garlic, puree. I have onion powder. I have salt, black pepper, cayenne. Fire roasted tomatoes. 14-ounce. You can buy it. You can oven it, mash it with a blade. That's what it sounded like. Oh, Americans put cheese in everything? Because we're the best. And also, America made so much cheese that the government had to actually buy lots of cheese to stop the cheese industry from going bankrupt. Do I watch any basketball? Not really, unfortunately. Orange and red bell peppers. European cheese is still the best? I don't know, man. America is #1 in everything. Chat, you literally see real cheese in front of you, and you're like, oh, it's like the American. No, come on. Come on now. Come on now. You guys would not say that shit at Wisconsin, okay? You would not go to Wisconsin and then say it's not real cheese. I know you guys. Come on. Ooh, all right. Onions I got. 1% milk. Absolutely not. What is cheddar powder? Are they... Yeah, cream cheese, cottage cheese. Where cheddar powder? Is there an enormous cheese storage underground somewhere in America? I think so. I'm pretty sure that's real. Red enchiladas, fire roasted potatoes, garlic puree. Stir to coat. Salted water to boil. Add pasta. Cook halfway. Drain to the side. Shred cheddar cheese. Is that what the cheddar powder is? I assume. Fat cream, cheddar powder. Where do you get cheddar powder from? Cheddar powder. The powder you get in a Kraft mac and cheese box? Yeah, do I just buy that box to get the cheddar powder and then just toss out the noodles or whatever? 1.4 billion pounds of cheese on the ground in Missouri. Let's go. Just grind up dried cheddar cheese. That's what it sounds like to me, but... Scrape it off people's hands when they eat Doritos. All right, bet. All right. And I buy... infinity amounts of chicken. So chicken, mac, and cheese. All right. Next. Is there a back to menu? Back to table of contents. There we go. Let's see. Pineapple teriyaki pulled pork rice bowls, green enchilada chicken, and rice soup. Not a big fan of soup. We're not doing any soups, chat. Sorry. Cheesy chicken and rice burritos. See, I like the burritos a lot, but I never feel like I reheat these really well. Yeah. I feel like I never really reheat them that well. Maybe. Let me see what's in this. Cheesy chicken and rice burritos. Next. I mean, it's not like I hate soup. It's just like it's not going to be my first pick of like a food to eat, you know? I'm not like, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to cook soup, you know? Like, can kind of take it or leave it. All right. What else we got? Tomato, spinach, feta, pasta. And if there's a lot of chicken in that, there is. Yeah. Spinach is kind of fire. Cook the meat and wait to cook the tortilla when you get to reheat the meat. But then that takes too long, coffee. I'm trying to reheat something and go. Oh, man. Oh, coffee. Chili garlic chicken fried rice. Garlic butter chicken Alfredo. Oh, my God. That looks rich. That looks very rich. Spicy steak pasta, avocado chicken, rice bowl. I'm not a big fan of avocado. I don't know. It doesn't taste like anything to me. Maybe I have that one gene or something like that. It just doesn't taste like anything. What is chicken tinga? Chicken thighs and chicken breasts? Is there one? I don't know. It just doesn't like. It doesn't taste like anything. It just is like cream to me. Yeah. Teriyaki chicken rice bowls. Ooh. I actually have a lot of this. Mayo. Like, what does avocado actually taste like? Yeah, it tastes like green to me. Exactly. It tastes like green cream. Yeah. Yeah, I feel the exact same way, man. Double up on the Greek yogurt? All right, I could do that. Oh, I know avocado's good for you, just, you know, just didn't think taste like anything, you know? Chicken bacon ranch mac and cheese? Oh my God. 6 slices of turkey bacon. God damn. 8 cloves of garlic. Oh. Buffalo chicken and bacon. He's got like 5 recipes for mac and cheese in here. Let's go, baby. Oh. Just watch your level 1 and plus changes video. Paused it and your arm was up. Came in here, my arm was up. Good continuity. I got you, Ahesh. Welcome in, man. Gonna lose weight with these recipes. Oh, I'm not gonna lose weight. I'm trying to bulk, all right? Yeah, I'm trying to bulk, Jekyll. If anything, I'm probably trying to do like a lean bulk. Powder again, honestly. It's everywhere. Spicy chicken Alfredo. Could be good. Yeah. Peanut butter Nutella and a protein shake. Those sound pretty good right now. All right. Jalapeno popper mac and cheese. Carnitas inspired pulled pork burritos. Thai red curry peanut chicken bowls. Yo, I didn't Helix or Breed. Here, I think I can upload the. I think I can upload it real quick. Here, it's in the it'll be in the resources channel in Discord. I'll leave it up for like a day and then we'll take it down so Stealth Health does not come after me. All right. In the Discord. Anything with chicken and rice I'm sold? Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Let's see. God, there's so much. Let's get one more. Then I'll add to the list. Chicken parm. God, I love some chicken parm. Parmigiano Reggiano. Is this a real thing? Chicken parm. Let's see. Tomato paste. Garlic, salt, Italian seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, chili flakes. Parmigiano Reggiano. What the hell is this? Is the real thing? What is that? Like, is it like a sauce or cottage cheese, milk, cream cheese? I think I have cream cheese. Is parm cheese? Oh, okay. Well, it said chicken and tomato sauce, so I thought it was like something else, you know? I didn't know they were putting the cheese directly into that. Like, why is it in the chicken and tomato sauce and not in the cheese sauce? I mean, I guess it is also in the cheese sauce, but you know what I mean. You know. What is miso? White miso. 10 servings is a lot. Well, I'm a big boy. Well, it's only 500 calories a serving. I don't know. I'm kind of more like a 600 or 700 calorie kind of guy. So I mean, if in total it's doing, you know, 4750 times 10, right? 475 times 10. And then if you're having like 700-ish calories a piece, 6.5 meals, pretty good. Tomato sauce, a smoother feel. It's a bean paste used in miso soup and a lot of other dishes. Where do I get it? So it'd be in like soybean paste? Okay. Would it be in the like not American foods section? Yeah. You know, like every grocery store has those. Okay. Because sometimes I find these lists and I just can't find the ingredients. There's some H Marts near me I could do as well. Yeah. All right, bet. Easy done. Gotta get to the end of this list. Where's the end of this list? Honey teriyaki chicken, Dr. Pepper barbecue beef. I've actually made something like this before, but I did with pulled pork. Now I've caught you red-handed. Uh-oh. Jack commits crimes. Don't make a clip of this. Don't make a clip of me committing. Don't make a clip of me sharing. Want the feds to get after me? Yeah, HEB will have everything. One of my guildies is a fed. Gonna come and bust my door down, Jeppy. Nah, it should only be War Within Dungeons, Lufa. It should only be War Within Dungeons. Yeah, that's why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't have nice things. Yeah. Ooh, garlic rosemary chicken. Oh, damn. Chicken thighs, Worcestershire, garlic, mustard. This is speaking to me. This is speaking to me. Yeah, PTR is still down. Yeah. God, this is just a whole bucket of chicken. Why thighs? Probably because they retain the moisture a little bit better. You could probably do it with chicken breast, but it might dry out a little bit more. Yeah. It might. I'm gonna do this as well. What was this again? Garlic rosemary chicken. Garlic rosemary chicken. Chicken thighs. Have that, have that, have that. Have that. Bone broth. Garlic powder, onion powder, rosemary sprig. Yeah. Where nobody can say right. Current mispronounced count 9 billion and counting. It's some British term. We just need to make an American term for Worcestershire. Yeah. That would, dude, this would be super easy. Yeah. Cook on high for 3 hours. Low in 4 hours, still tender. Done. Shred lightly. Add rice. Yep. Wash your sister sauce. There you go. There you go. Let's see. Street taco chicken. Ooh, pepper steak would be good too. Wooshta. Let's see. Flat cut brisket, chuck high roast. Beef bone broth, peppers, poblanos, jalapenos. Yum. Yum. Yeah, I'm doing this too. I think I actually have a chuck roast in my freezer. Yeah. Pepper steak. Beef bone broth. I am butchering my spelling here. And jalapenos. All right. Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good with a lot of rice. We actually had something like this at Race World First. Insanely, insanely good. Insanely, insanely good. Take edge off. It keeps coming back. I removed that and the Xbox thing, and it always comes back. Those things are like the plague. They just return constantly. Where's the mash? Wait, is there actually taters? Is there actually taters that I missed? Oh, that would be good with some mashed taters. God damn it, Jeffy. I'll let that slide. Yeah, I literally like will take them off and then they just come back. Yeah. What is chicken tinga? Minute paste, fire roasted diced tomatoes, apple cider vinegar. Oh wait, you're adding chicken breast and chicken thighs together. Interesting. Still better than our druid content? True. Well, we're waiting on servers to come up, so you know, we're making some lists. Yeah, check the Discord in the resources tab, Bubbly. Well, fired up about the season 2 changes. Extremely fired up about it. Yeah, we covered that, made a video about it. We're kind of hoping that we get some PTR class changes today, but who knows? We'll see. Yeah, dude, it's a really big win. It's a really, really big win. We've been needing something like that for a while. Let's delay to have a new week of testing with nothing on the class side. Yeah, and they always do something. Like, it may not be big, but basically every single time they do it. Yeah. Yeah, there should be a build. We don't know when exactly. There should be a build. Yeah. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but yeah. At some point. The track record of this testing likely Thursday. It might be later tonight, because honestly, last time it took a while for the build to go out. So. I'm going to stand up and move around and everything like that. I got to work out this kink in my neck and stuff before I stream tomorrow. Closing time? Yeah, literally. I have a feeling that it's probably going to be a while. Or if I go offline right now, then maybe it'll just instantly post the changes. So either way we win. Either way we win. But hopefully tomorrow, bright and early, 1 p.m. Eastern, we'll be able to get on, slam, PTR, go over the class changes, all that other fun stuff. Hopefully. Hopefully. But never know. Yeah, I mean, we are going to test Muggsy on Friday as well, so that should be a banger. That should be a banger time. All right, guys, I'm heading off. Love your faces. Sorry, no build today yet, but what can you do? I'm going to go work out this kink in my neck, and hopefully I'll be back to 100% tomorrow, all right? Have a great night, guys. Take it easy. And now we have a game plan for some cooking streams, and we got to get that going once again, all right? Later, dudes. Have a good night.